Okay, everyone, welcome. Alright, everyone, bear with me a little bit today. We're trying some new stuff. We're actually, I'm using Restream for the first time, because also for the first time I am streaming not only to Twitch, but also to YouTube Live. No idea how this is going to go. So, like I said, please bear with me and let me know if anything's all screwed up. This should not be there. I switched to OBS, which I've never used before. And why is this so goofy? Hold on. That shouldn't be happening. Okay. Alright. I think that's right now. Okay, everything's fitting the way it should. Now, I think I can see everything that's going to be happening in the chat, but I don't know. Like I said, it's my first time not only using OBS, but using Restream and using YouTube. So yeah, it's probably going to be all kind of screwy. I got no sound. It's not getting oh, thought you meant I had no sound. That's cool, man. Welcome. Hold on. Let me look here. Let me look. Ha! My chat is actually working. Thank you, Rora. I was trying to see. I hope my alerts and stuff work. We'll see. I did forget one thing. Hold on. I've got to advertise on the Discord. Anyway, whole new look to the channel, by the way. I don't know if anyone saw the intro or what. Kind of going through a complete rebrand here. I want to actually dedicate the channel, the stream, to the paranormal, which is normally what we do anyway. It's kind of evolved into that. So I kind of just want to make the whole channel about paranormal primarily. We're still going to have some gaming, maybe some IRL stuff. I don't know, perhaps some fishing again. I don't know. But, one sec. It wouldn't let me add any tags, I just realized, for Twitch. But whatever. I want to do an AMA thing. So yeah, anyway, whole new rebrand going on. So the channel looks different. The logo's different, and it's probably going to change again. What else? I even have a guy I work with that is supposed to be writing me my very own theme song for the channel, which will be super exciting. I hope he comes through soon. He was supposed to call me yesterday. He never did. But you know how that goes. Alright, let's see. See, this down here doesn't show me the viewers. That up there does. Whatever. I don't know. Like I said, figuring this out, man. I've never been on YouTube before live, and I've never used Restream. I've never used OBS. So we're kind of all over the place here today. So, bear with me. We're going to get through this together, I hope. So, we're going to get right into it. I'd like to do eventually go into kind of like a podcast. Yeah, I'd like to get a new theme for every stream. And I'd really like interaction with the chat. I need to get bigger chats. Really, because a lot of times we have one or two people in here, and they may not have questions, but I think that really triggers a lot of discussion, and the whole AMA thing about the paranormal I think would be a lot of fun, and we could learn a lot from each other and together. I'm not saying I'm an expert on anything, but I think it'd be fun to learn together. But we are still going to focus on what we have been doing. We're going to look at these videos, these paranormal videos, supposedly, or different evidence, and kind of analyze them, see what we think, see if we actually think anything's paranormal, I think we're probably, on the Twitch stream, I'll bet we're only like 20% of the videos where we can't figure out, this is obviously what's happening. It's perfectly normal. It has an explanation. Basically, debunking is what I'm trying to say. And that being said, I do have my very own video from my security camera. We've had in the stream before. Which we can look at again. I have got to bring it up here. I really need to save it. I mean, I know I have saved it. Exclamation Discord in the chat. I doubt it will work in YouTube, but I don't know. What do I know? Okay, here's my video. Here's my ghost video from my security camera on my back porch. Just for reference to people that haven't been here, haven't seen it before. So Noah's home is about 2 in the afternoon. So relative to the camera, the sun is kind of at probably about 12 o'clock, but it's high in the sky. Like I said, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is my and my backyard is completely fenced in, 6-foot privacy fence, vinyl privacy fence. No shadows gonna be coming through there. Also, the screen door over here, and there's also one kind of below and to the right of the camera. Which, if it was to open, you would, one, see the door right here. I hope you can see my cursor. Also, you would hear it because the camera does have sound, which you'll notice. Excuse me. I'm also on the back end of this cold, but I'm getting over it. We'll be all right. Anyway, you'll notice the camera has sound. So you would hear that if the door opened. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and show it, and then we'll see what we think. You're kind of going to be looking in this general area, bottom right quadrant of the frame. Right there. You see that? So, with all that I've told you so far, and this is great, this being at my house on my back porch, because a lot of the videos we look at, I really don't have any reference of the layout of the area, what's going on, what happens around there, what's normal, what's not normal. Here, this is my house. I know what's normal, what's not, and this has never happened before, and the shadow was enough to trigger the motion sensor on the camera, which, again, hasn't happened before. There's other security cameras around the house, didn't pick anything up. Not saying it would necessarily be impossible to get back there without being seen, at least at the time. We've added more cameras since, and now it is. But it would be really hard, and you'd have to know where the cameras were at the time. Also, you can see the reflection of these doors. Nothing shows up, which is pretty unusual. My first thought was, you'll see when I play it again, the wind picks up here and it blows these screens. So my first thought was this somehow casting a shadow, and it's given this effect. But you'll notice as the screens keep moving, even move more, the shadow progresses out of frame and is gone. So let's look again. So yeah, highly, highly, highly unusual. So yeah, anybody in the chat, if you have an idea, let's hear it. I've gone through, this is kind of what I do. I've gone through everything I can think of, given the information I have about the area. And I don't know. I cannot explain it. So maybe someone out there in the chatterverse, I don't know, whatever, has another theory. So also, those of you that are new to the channel, mainly the ones on YouTube, we really take a skeptical approach to a lot of this evidence. I think the best way to evaluate, analyze evidence of the paranormal is to go in with the idea of debunking it, disproving it. Otherwise, if you're looking to prove there's a ghost, you're more than likely to take poor evidence and call it paranormal, and that really, I think messes with your credibility. But I would not say I'm a skeptic. I'm probably somewhere between a skeptic and a believer, which is kind of unusual, I suppose, because I guess you could say I believe in the possibility of there being ghosts. Otherwise, this would all be a waste of time anyway. However, I have not seen evidence so overwhelming or had an experience so overwhelming that I can definitively say there are ghosts. I think it's fun to try to find out. And we're not talking just ghosts on this channel either. We talk all things paranormal. Some things I know a little more about than others, but I find it all pretty interesting and fun to look at. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead and start. Once again today, we're going to look at Nuke's Top 5. The best videos of the paranormal, I think, on YouTube, because Nuke seems to get the latest videos that people put out and puts them all together and does a really good job of it. Gives us the meat and potatoes, explains things pretty thoroughly. So these are great. So shout out to Nuke's Top 5 for sure. He does a great job, and I use videos a lot. I hope he doesn't mind. I don't think he does. I see a lot of people react to him on YouTube because he is super popular. So here we go. We're going to go right into this one. 5 scary ghost videos that'll make you punch your screen. Okay. Probably not going to do that. But maybe he's right. I don't know. Let's go. Let's go.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera.
Ooh, is that too loud?
Ghosts of Carmel, Maine.
It seems a little loud, yeah? Let's see. We're going to move that probably about right there. If anything's messed up, let me know. Again, I'm new to OBS and Restream and all that stuff, so I'm counting on you to let me know if anything sucks.
I featured in the YouTube channel Ghosts of Carmel, Maine.
Okay, we've seen this guy a lot. I find some of his stuff pretty hard to believe. Which, when you get a channel that's completely dedicated to the paranormal, to ghosts and everything, that incentivizes the creators to maybe get a little creative, hoax wise, because they have financial motivation to do so. So if a channel's completely dedicated to the paranormal and presenting firsthand evidence, you kind of got to take that with a grain of salt. Especially ones that say, "Oh, I happened to move into a haunted house," or whatever. Not saying he's necessarily lying, perpetuating a hoax, but just gonna throw that out there.
Times on Nuke's Top 5, so I won't go through a full recap. But put simply, Kent Burris says that he lives in a very haunted house and has recorded many strange supernatural encounters.
Robert Englund, the guy that played Freddy Krueger a little bit.
In his home.
The hardest things to deal with while living in this house.
1 second. Stupid cat's in here meowing for some reason.
And one of the most frightening encounters are in fact apparitions. Son of a... Oh my!
It's a lot of stuff with this kind of stuff,
One
shadow
while
figures
sleeping,
and things like that.
There was a loud bang in the bedroom that woke me up.
it occurs to me I'm saying all these things that I just presented myself, you know. Shadow figures, first-hand evidence, channel dedicated to the paranormal, and I'm trying to convince everyone I have a ghost on my back porch. Again, I'm not saying it's a ghost. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. I couldn't figure it out. Also, keep in mind, and I apologize in advance if I have to leave, we're having so much rain today here in Florida, and my house floods a little bit. My backyard, it comes into the house some, and it is a little bit today. I got towels down, but we should be okay. But in case I have to leave suddenly, I will come back.
So I picked up my cell phone camera and started recording.
One night, Kent hears voices coming from downstairs and records as he heads down to investigate. He is not prepared for what he finds waiting in the dark first floor TV room.
Son of a... What the hell are you?
See, it's a lot of he has a lot of this kind of thing where, you know, he'll pan, you know, somewhere, and then he'll pan across, and there'll be a figure standing there, usually backlit by the TV in this case, by a window, you know. Very, very easy to fake something like that. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. I personally, my opinion is I don't think his videos are genuine.
Honey?
As Kent walks into the pitch black room, the TV has somehow turned itself on. Now, this might explain the voices, but as he pans his camera around the room, a dark shape suddenly appears right in front of the television screen. The shadow figure seems to collapse into itself as it disappears right in front of his eye.
So if you have a very dark room like he has and a backlight source, you could get someone to stand in front of that and it'll look just like that. It's going to look like a shadow. You won't be able to make out any features in the front. So, again, very easy to perpetuate this sort of hoax.
Nice.
What the hell are you? I did not go back to sleep that night.
So did Kent capture yet another shadow apparition in his haunted house? You decide. You can watch this full documentary over on the YouTube channel, Ghosts of Carmel, Maine. Checking out early. Iraqi fitness trainer Mustafa from the YouTube channel Mustafa Altai says that he heard a strange story about a family who had fled their home in Iraq many years ago because a sinister jinn began haunting their home. The house has been left abandoned for over 60 years.
So a jinn, as far as I can tell from the consensus of descriptions of a jinn, seems to be an inhuman spirit, which we've discussed in the past. We'll discuss again all the different types of hauntings, different types of spirits, things like that. Jinn seems to be inhuman, almost demon-like. You've got different stories about them. Are they good? Are they bad? Who knows, really? I mean, honestly, no one knows anything for sure in this field. But it does seem to be an inhuman spirit, meaning simply they never lived. There's never a person that died, came back as a ghost and is haunting. It's more something that's always been a spirit, a deity, something along those lines. Demons, poltergeists, angels, things like that are inhuman spirits. Oh, yeah, Aurora. I remember that. I had to hang out 15 minutes, too. Make sure you don't, die or something.
As the family says they couldn't find anyone willing to rent or buy the cursed property. Mustafa goes to investigate the house with his friend Salar to see if the spooky stories are true. And it did not go well. As the two explorers are about to enter the house, they have no idea that something
Whoa, which shot are you
seems to be
getting?
watching
Which brand?
them.
حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
Oh wait, you already told me you don't have audio. My bad.
Now, it's certainly a bit hard to see, but when the video is slowed down and enhanced, a very strange figure can be seen standing.
Can it, though? I mean, a very strange figure, so strange that perhaps it's not a figure at all. I don't know.
At the window.
I don't see anything moving. It didn't look like, even if you take matrixing into account, I still don't think it really looks like a figure, like a person. Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the chat.
It could be, but when Mustafa's camera pans back, the dark figure has disappeared. After the two explorers enter the house,
that makes it a little more
things
interesting.
only get weirder.
That's unusual.
The two friends hear strange sounds coming from the staircase. They go to investigate, and this happens.
It does not go well.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. ما في طبقة ثانية دائما خاف منه. دائما يا أخي. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. اقرأ آيات. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله بكلمات الله التامات.
Okay, so interesting. Unless they are obviously hoaxing everyone. Say that was a spirit caused this bucket to fall. We don't know. We don't know what's up there. We don't know if there's animals. We don't know if there's a person, a squatter, one of their buddies, whatever it is. But if it is a spirit, say for the sake of argument, it seems that it seems that primarily it's poltergeists that are able to move things, manipulate things physically. Demons to an extent, but demons are, they're kind of a mystery as far as categorizing them. Poltergeists are the ones you see the videos of, cabinets and doors opening and closing on their own. Inhuman spirit, but they have enough energy to manipulate things, and in my opinion, it's logical that would be an actual dangerous haunting, because if it can manipulate things, it can hit you with things, it can hit you, it can do whatever, we don't know. So these are the kind, some people aren't too impressed by like a chair moving or something like that, but it's logical that if it can move a physical object, it can do damage to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء. بسم الله. لا تعال بس تعال سلام تعال. لا هسه يقوم احد بس تعال وين. بدعت امك تعال وين. ما يقوم احد والله يقوم صديق سوا بس تعال فوق سلام. سلام.
Solar says I'm out,
بس تعال بدعت امك. يا اخي حلفتك. سلام. حلفتك بدعت امك تعال.
You left your homie hanging, man.
From somewhere above them, barely
It's
missing
cool.
the two explorers. Mustafa runs upstairs to see where it came from, but his friend Salar heads for the exit. Eventually, Mustafa convinces Salar to come back, but after hearing more scary, unexplained sounds, they both decide to leave. Mustafa uploads his video to YouTube, and many of his viewers want to see more. In the video comments, his fans dare him to go back and actually spend the night in the haunted house. So, Mustafa agrees. He returns to the house, determined to stay the night. This time, all alone. Mustafa.
Okay, stay the night, and they're pretty ballsy. That being said, if you are going to, his friend just bailed. He's like, I'm out. If you're gonna go do these paranormal investigation, ghost hunts, whatever you want to call them, don't do any of them alone. Not so much for the ghost thing, the getting haunted, getting scared, whatever. But the fact that a lot of these take place at night, you're in a strange place. There could be, squatters or something like that here. Something truly dangerous. There could be, a lot of them are really dilapidated, broken down. Floors collapse, ceilings collapse, all this kind of stuff. It's just not a good idea to do it by yourself. Highly recommend against it.
Sets up a few static cameras in one of the rooms and attempts to settle in for the night. But before long, Mustafa's night takes a terrifying turn.
Alright, Roar, I'll be here, man.
صوت بس ما نقدر نحكم على أي صوت نسمعه أو أي حركة مثل.
Okay, the sound I am hearing, it definitely sounds like the wind.
ممكن يكون هواء ممكن يكون ريح الله.
Okay, at first I thought that was a video edit, something added in, a sound effect added in. I guess it's not. So that's a pretty strange sound. Could be wind related, but it's pretty odd. That sounded like a jackal. And they're in Iraq, so it could very well be a jackal. Yeah, a dog, a jackal, either one. It's like your quintessential ghostly moan, you know? So we got things moving now.
Strange moans and loud bangs keep Mustafa on the edge and unable to rest. But little does he know, things are about to get even creepier.
Wait. What was that? That looked pretty weird, but I wasn't looking in the right spot.
But little does he know, things are about to get even creepier.
Wow. Okay, so this is a rock on top of that mantelpiece. Wind's not going to blow that. We can't blame that on the wind. We can't blame that on vibrations or anything. So that's pretty interesting. He doesn't move, so I don't think he's manipulating it himself. Possibility he brought a buddy along. Probably not the one that was there last, but and it, you know, he's playing a trick. I don't really get that impression from this video, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good little shot there. I'm gonna look at the ceiling. Wow. I moved my head, dude. Dude, that's a big... See? That's weird, bro. That's what I'm talking about. These... If a ghost can manipulate things, they could probably hurt you. You get hit by that rock, it's gonna hurt.
This is the place where the damned speak.
Okay, thank you.
A heavy piece of stone sitting on top of the fireplace seems to move on its own. Then, as if propelled by an invisible force...
I think that was a follow. Yeah, it was. I just changed my alert, so I don't really know. And it didn't pop up. Did the animation come up? Oh, there's an ad.
It violently crashes to the ground, nearly landing on Mustafa's head. Understandably, Mustafa is now freaked out. He's only been inside the house a little over an hour.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the follow. I just changed my alert, so it took me a minute to figure out. But did the animation pop up when you hit the follow? I don't know if I have things in the right order. It should be. Did it work right? I heard the sound, but I don't know if the animation came up. Either way, thank you for following, and welcome to the channel.
He decides to put an early end to his overnight investigation. But now here's where things get
So you got something hucking
really
rocks
creepy,
at Homeboy's head.
because
Not
the most terrifying part of Mustafa's stay inside the house isn't even what he saw or heard with his own eyes and ears. You see, his static cameras caught video of something strange that he wasn't even aware of.
I mean, a rock flying at my head
downright chilling
would probably be the low light of my night, as far as scary stuff. I'm not sure. Side is from my phone. I'm not sure what he's trying to show us. Okay. I saw that. This looked like kind of a goof up in pixelation, but it kind of moved with Mustafa. Sounds like a fake name. I think in Iraq, I think it's a pretty common name, I believe. So you see something move here, look like it comes down the... I don't know. I'm seeing the low light pixelation that we get.
As Mustafa is repositioning his static camera, a dark figure appears behind him on the stair.
Not 100% sure that's not what we're seeing, but it does definitely block out this rail here, this banister rail. Is that what it, I guess it would be called that, but
it slowly moves down the stairs without making a sound and then disappears out of sight.
Yeah, the fact that it blocks out, we can clearly see that banister and it blocks it out. That's pretty strange.
And Mustafa captured this creepy figure during his nighttime stay.
Oh, Pancakes. That sounds like a fake name too. But hey, welcome back, I guess.
The jinn gone life. Allah.
That makes sense now that how many little pancakes could there be?
The jinn gone life. Allah.
So that's weird. That's a pretty good clip.
The jinn gone life. Allah.
That's really weird. Okay, so first saw it was a shadow of something over here, but the only light source seems to be coming off of his equipment, which is here. So if there's something going across casting a shadow, the shadow would also be on the floor here, obviously. So it's not a shadow coming from that. Like 40 different accounts. Keep forgetting the password. Oh, I hear you.
Again, a dark, very bizarre figure quickly appears behind Mustafa, not once, but twice. Could it be that he captured the jinn that haunts the home on camera?
Strange.
Whatever it is, it seems to change shape, size, and even transparency. So just what is this?
That's pretty good.
Let me know what you think. You can check out Mustafa's full 2-part video investigation of the house over on his YouTube channel, Mustafa Altai. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. The haunted ancient.
So I sent my video into that Gmail account. Finally, I don't know why I procrastinated so long on it, but sent it in. Haven't heard back yet, but I'm sure, they get inundated with videos, and maybe it's not cool enough for Nuke to put up.
Ram Inn. With a past as dark as the ancient Ram Inn, it's not surprising that it is said to be the most haunted building in all of England. The mysterious inn was built way back in the year 1145 on top of a pagan burial ground, and it served as the home to slaves, masons, and workers. In the 1500s, a woman hid out in the building before she was captured and burned as a witch. Years later, the innkeeper's daughter is said to have hung herself in the attic. And as if all that wasn't creepy enough, the decaying remains of sacrificed children were found buried under the inn's floor.
Interesting factoid, kind of related, I guess. I go off on tangents, by the way, so just bear with me. But so there's a whole, burning witches at the stake thing, which is pretty popular in Europe, especially in England. A lot of people assume that during the Salem witch trials of 1692 in Massachusetts, they were burning witches at the stake, and that's actually not true. None of them were burned. They were all hanged, except one. I believe it was John Proctor, was pressed to death, which basically they put a big board on top of you, and they keep stacking big rocks on it, and, adding more and more weight. It's actually a way to get you to try to confess. He's in kind of a shitty position because if he doesn't confess to witchcraft, they keep stacking this stuff on him until it crushes him and die. If he does confess, they're going to kill him anyway. They're going to hang him. So that's the only non-hanging execution there was, and technically was it an execution is murder, but I don't think they started that with the intention of killing him by it. It's just one of those side effects of piling a lot of weight on top of someone.
floor. The ancient Ram Inn is said to be so violently haunted that when the building was sold to John Humphreys in 1968, his wife and daughters absolutely refused to live there. They moved out, leaving John Humphreys all alone to live in the house. So, British paranormal investigators Sean Kenna, Sean Owen, and Carl Hassel from the YouTube channel Dark Territory travel to the haunted inn to investigate the multiple claims of paranormal activity. During their investigation, they hear bizarre, unexplained sounds, and Sean feels something touching his leg.
Already, as soon as we were about to begin filming
12th century, I think it was.
Something
so
draws
cool.
our attention upstairs.
Upstairs.
Sounded like you rolled a barrel, or did you work at the inn?
Dude, upstairs.
Go. Yeah, I've just heard what sounded like movement up here. Is this where you are? Are you the witch? They call this room the witch's room, so we only assume that.
I'm starting to pick up.
The witch, you're.
Oops.
Call
Sorry. I'm starting to pick up regional British accents. Like starting to notice a difference in him. It's kind of weird. He sounds like a Beatle, you know.
Out in here.
Did anyone hear the voice a second ago? Before you said you're felt in here.
No. Witch, you're felt in here. Witch, you're felt in here.
I don't know if it's a voice or it was like a cat.
The voice is kind of a weak example of an EVP.
Did you used to sleep in this bed, witch?
Bed witch?
So this is
Why are you lying like that?
Fell something on my leg, man. Someone was on my leg.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Touched my leg.
Later, Sean Kenna and Sean Owen are exploring on the second floor. Things get even.
Dude, like for a YouTube channel, look at these guys' equipment, bro. That's like expensive ass equipment. Like that's a really expensive camera and the sound equipment and all that stuff. They must have pretty successful YouTube channel.
Stranger.
What little room are you hiding in? Come on, show yourself. I'm sure you're not afraid of me and Owen.
Guys, the door's just open.
A door to the attic opens on its own and the team can't find any explanation for the strange occurrence. There was no draft, and the team had been walking back and forth past the door many times without it making any movement whatsoever. Now, since it has always been said
for things like that, you kind of got to take them at their word because you're not there to actually verify that they, reproduced all these different scenarios to make sure they can't explain what may have happened as far as them walking by, as far as, someone opening a door or window, creating a draft that could have done that. So you kind of got to take people at their word, which is fine.
Dark spirits.
Usually they seem all right. Some of them you can tell when people are, lying. These ones they seem pretty believable.
Entities supposedly quote
the old door string. Yeah, that's
fear.
A classic.
The team decides to do an experiment
and
to
I think we
see if the
see
emotion
that
of fear will trigger even more paranormal activity. So they tie up and blindfold team member Carl and put him in one of the beds in the bishop's room.
I understand
this
the
room
blindfold,
is said
but why
to be
tie
the
him
most
up?
supernaturally active. At first,
the blindfold, the idea is sensory deprivation. You put on a blindfold, some like noise canceling headphones, and you usually have a spirit box hooked up to them, so that's all you can hear. But it's not allowing you to see anything or hear anything else, so you can focus on what you're doing. And it also supposedly invites a spirit to, I don't know, makes you more approachable or something. Whatever it is, but I don't know why you would tie them up.
Nothing really happens.
Like
and as time passes, Carl seems to grow more and more impatient.
Which, by the way, I feel like I'm the only one that thought
take
Bird Box
a terrifying
was
turn.
Sorts of touch me leg. Sorts of touching my leg, bro.
Something's happening.
Dude, I gotta help your homie?
You around me now? You make a sound. What the was that, bro?
What, man?
This something's
What,
just
man?
off here.
Who's that?
It was horrible. Thank you. At least I'm not the only one.
Touch me, man! What the
Something's wrong with Carl. He's obviously
Holy
Why is he tied up? I just don't understand.
man.
We need to go.
You get me the out of here now, Joe. Bro, I just seriously, someone just whacked me, no joke. I heard something being
Thought I heard a
thrown or
little
something.
voice there.
And I was like, come on, and then someone just whacked me, no joke, as if someone just punched me in the chest. Me.
Carl begins to freak out as he feels something touching his leg. A candle then falls onto the floor, but scariest of all, something unseen slaps Carl on the chest. The violent smack is actually loud enough that the audio can be heard on camera.
So I find it interesting here. I kind of believe it looks believable that he felt something. But he's got that big puffy jacket on, okay? And we're hearing it supposedly, and he's saying he felt it. You would think if that was the case, you would see the jacket, react, be pushed down or whatever, and I'm not seeing that.
The violent smack is actually loud enough that the audio can be heard on camera.
Yeah, I don't see it move at all.
And with that, Carl is done. In abject terror, he frantically struggles his way out of the rope binding his legs and wrists. So did the paranormal investigators capture proof of the sinister ghosts that haunt the ancient Ram Inn? Let me know what you think. You can watch this full video and many more investigations of haunted English locations over on the YouTube channel.
I need to start writing down all these different channels that I want to check out later on, react to. Because there's quite a bit that, Nuke cites on his videos.
Dark territory. The House of the Burned Man. Popular Mexican paranormal investigator Alberto Del Arco travels to a mansion in Manzanillo, Mexico.
I know I've seen a lot of the guys
massive
in
hillside
Mexico, but I don't know
estate
if
has
we've
been
seen
mysteriously abandoned for over 35 years, and it looks more like a hotel than a home. It features a pool, a spa area, and an amazing view of the ocean.
Yeah, nice
So
digs.
no one really knows why such a luxurious home would be abandoned for over 3 decades. However, urban legend says that one of the home's previous tenants perished in a mysterious fire inside the house. Because of this, locals refer to the estate as the quote, House of the Burned Man. The entire property is said to be extremely haunted. Once Alberto and his 2 cameramen make their way inside, they find the home's design a bit confusing.
Todavía no le encuentro la forma a esta casa. Aquí está cerrado, aquí ya no hay más. No, todavía existen. Atrás, güey, atrás.
Scream's a bit of a reach, I think. Makes me want to try it myself. Yeah. It's been many years since I've actually done a paranormal investigation, but it's kind of fun, especially if you like that rush of being scared.
¿No fue un animal? ¿Algún ave? Okay, pero eso vino.
He's asking all the right questions. That's good, because it did sound like it could have been a bird or an animal of some sort.
De este lado. ¿Se oyó claro? Madres. ¿Fuiste tú ahorita que pisaste? Sí. ¿O no? Sí. Se oyó muy hueco, cuidado, sí, retumbó todo. No se nos vaya a caer encima parte de esta propiedad, porque sí se ve que está muy dañada. Mira, ven. Ven a ver esto.
Cuidado. ¿Estás bien?
Sí. Casi me estrella en la cara, güey, ¿lo viste?
So that sound very well could have been a bat. That makes a lot of sense.
While exploring the strangely constructed mansion, the team hears what sounds like a child's voice, followed by the sound of a breath. Even though the unexplained sounds are barely picked up by their microphones, the three explorers all seem to hear it very clearly. Next, Alberto has a frightening close encounter with a bat. And after that, the team just decides to continue their investigation outside as they check out the other buildings on the sprawling estate.
It's a cool ass house. No question about that.
Hola. No sé, güey, como que arrastraron algo. Buenas noches. No creo que haya indigentes viviendo aquí, la verdad.
I think there's homeless people living in there. Also, another important question to ask. Because in a lot of these abandoned houses, abandoned buildings, you will get squatters in there. And I think they account for a lot of the supposed paranormal sightings that we do see on the channel.
Uy, está enorme este lugar. Atrás, aquí. Eso fue aquí. Con cuidado. Puede haber animales, ¿eh?
Alberto and his team hear strange sounds coming from inside some of the buildings. It sounds almost like something heavy being dragged across the floor. Since the hillside the mansion sits on is almost impossible to access, Alberto thinks it would be unlikely that any homeless people could be living there. Instead, he believes that all of the sounds that he is hearing,
if you can get there, they can get there. So that's not very sound reasoning as far as I'm concerned.
Could simply be made by animals. But even though Alberto is very skeptical, what happens next is not so easy to explain.
¿Qué pasó, güey? ¿Qué pasó? Ay, güey, a mí se me hizo ver a alguien acá. ¿Allá? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? ¿No habrá sido una sombra? ¿No habrá sido algún árbol? ¿Alguna rama? ¿Lo habrá trabado o no? ¿Sí? Ok, habrá que revisar ese material.
Alberto's cameraman captures what appears to be a white translucent figure on camera.
Okay, I thought I saw something there. I was wondering. I didn't know we were with the guy that actually saw it. I thought we were with the other guy.
A little later into their investigation, and they capture something again.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Hay más escaleras que dan hacia abajo, ¿eh?
Pretty potato-y, but...
Cuidado. Mucho murciélago. ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué hay allá? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Todo bien?
Algo se movió.
¿Dónde?
A lot of bats in there.
¿Dónde, güey? ¿No son los murciélagos? Huele muy mal. Huele muy, muy mal.
Bats come flying out towards the cameraman, but it's not a bat that spooks him. A bizarrely shaped shadow seems to be staring back at him from just inside one of the rooms. They go to check it out, but there's nothing there. The figure has vanished, leaving nothing behind but a very foul stench. Before long, the echoing sound of a raging party being celebrated somewhere nearby starts to make it impossible for them to capture clear, uninterrupted audio. Alberto and his team have no choice but to wrap up their investigation. However, right before they leave, they capture something truly chilling.
Ok, con cuidado. Ok, ¿les parece si bajamos? Digo, aquí no hay más que una pequeña explanada. No está tan espectacular como la de arriba, quizá.
Quality of video really makes this
este
difficult.
piso, ¿no?
At the time they recorded this, the team says that they were completely unaware that someone or something seemed to be watching.
I mean, that doesn't look too convincing to me.
Them from the tree line. They catch an unexplained figure on camera, just barely visible.
Oh, okay, I see. Looks like a face here, a leg, maybe, some dress or something. So we talk a lot about matrixing. This could be that. It did look like it was moving a little bit, possibly, but I don't know how the cameraman was moving relative to it. So that's hard to say. But, matrixing, our brain is just trying to make sense of something we're seeing, try to make it look like something familiar, right? So you see this and you're going to automatically go, oh, eyes, nose, mouth, especially, with the power of suggestion You know, people say, "Oh, there's a face right there. See it?" And then you can't unsee it at that point. So you have to kind of try to train your brain after you've seen it. You got to try to retrain it to look at it more objectively. And if you look at that objectively, does it really look like a face? Or does it look like a ball with maybe 2 stripes across? I don't know. That wouldn't make any sense either. But I'm just saying, you could probably convince yourself that that's a lot of things. My guess on this one is it's amongst a lot of trees. I'm guessing it's a part of a tree. Something on a tree. And these, you know, this what looks like a foot, ankle, looks suspiciously like all the other trees around, you know? So I'm going to chalk this one up to matrixing. Okay, I'm back home. Am I too late? No. Welcome back. How was your shot? What brand did you get?
In the dark.
I got Moderna. My second one hurt like a son of a
Alberto Del
bitch.
Arco and his 2 cameramen capture evidence of paranormal activity at the mansion. Is it possible that the ghost of the burned man, who the house is named after,
Pfizer?
was watching
Okay, yeah, I don't
them?
know.
Let me know what you think.
If that one
You can
hurts.
watch this full video over on the YouTube channel, Alberto Del Arco. Just passing through. Paranormal investigators beyond the realm paranormal investigate the Alton Railway Station in Staffordshire, England. The old train station was built in 1849, and it was eventually closed down in 1965.
See, mine hurt really bad
after
the
over
second
100
day.
years of travelers and workers passing through the station, it is now believed to be extremely haunted by the ghosts of deceased passengers and railway workers. The 5
Makes
investigators set up motion detectors on the platform close to what used to be the railway track.
I want to go to Auschwitz and do ghosts there. So, I don't believe they allow that at Auschwitz. And honestly, like, as much as I want to investigate all these places that could potentially be haunted, and surely it could if there's a haunting, I'll see why it wouldn't. I don't know. It feels disrespectful to do it. So I'm not sure I would, even if I could, I would want to. Staffordshire, is that where this is? I actually wasn't paying that close attention. I thought it was in the U.S. somewhere. I don't know where they said, man. I don't. Where are we? 2140-ish.
YouTube channel, Alberto Del Arco. Just passing through. Paranormal investigators beyond the realm paranormal investigate the Alton Railway Station in Staffordshire, England. The old train station was built in 1849, and it was eventually closed down in 1965.
Yeah, let them in peace. They've been through enough.
What used to be the railway track, they start recording, and what they capture is truly bizarre.
Of course, at the same time, you know, it could be argued, it could be theorized, I guess, that they would want to communicate. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me.
So that's just next setting off the motion detector. It only goes off when something walks in front of it. There you go. Straight after
There's a
it's
theme park
followed you.
there. Wonder if it's haunted
One more time for you. I want you to follow me exactly where I come from. The Alton Bridge Hotel. Remember?
You know what I've never looked at, and I think we should maybe look at, is the motion sensors. How do they work? I think they send out some kind of signal or something, and then, you know, kind of like radar, it bounces off of something, comes back to it. Motion sensor technology, maybe. Yeah, I know exactly where that is. Never been there, but that's cool, man. How do motion sensor cameras work? Here we go. Set motion detection. You select a region, monitor, say doorway, comparison. You know, the way it works is to compare sequential images from your video, and if enough of the pixels have changed between those frames, the camera software determines something moved and sends you an alert. Oh, okay, so it's not like radar at all. Interesting. Most common type of active motion sensor uses ultrasonic sensor technology, which is kind of what I was thinking. This motion sensors emit sound waves, so this is like sonar. To detect presence of objects. There are also microwave sensors. Same sort of thing. Huh, so interesting. I wonder which one. So you would think the ones that compare the images, compare the pixels, wouldn't work very well for, ghost hunting, because are they actually manipulating enough pixels, if any, to set it off? I don't know. Sonar and pixel, yeah. Railway's right outside the theme park. Well, you should go over there. Give us a little Aurora ghost hunt. I think that'd be fun. Be fun for all of us. Go live.
No.
When lead investigator Nick walks back and forth, setting off the motion detector, something seems to follow him. Then suddenly, a super fast-moving white mist seems to pass right through him, knocking him a step back.
So, the stuff moving in front of the camera has been moving in front of the camera the whole time. I don't know what it is. It could be the lady holding the camera's hair, or possibly bugs. I don't think it's dust because it's kind of moving quick. But since we've been seeing it the whole time, I don't know. I don't know if we can chalk this up to anything usable.
We need to do that. No.
What's especially creepy is that Nick seems to both see and react to the mist as it passes right through his body. So did they capture real evidence of the paranormal? Could it be the ghost of a wary traveler still running to catch a long-departed train? You decide. Check out this full video and more paranormal investigations over on their Facebook and YouTube channel, Beyond the Realm Paranormal. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also maybe check out my other videos. I'll see you next week.
Alright, on to the next video. Man, we're making a little progress. There's so many though, dude. We're never ever going to get through all Nuke's videos. Which is fine. We'll always have content. And he puts a new one out every week. Which is, well, actually, I don't think it's every week, but he puts them out pretty regularly. Let's see, what's this one? 5 ghost videos that'll make you throw your phone. I doubt it. But we'll see.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera. Hiding in the closet.
Well.
This next video was sent in by a viewer, and it's one of those rare paranormal stories that's been around on YouTube for a decade, but not many people have ever seen it. In fact, in over 10 years, this channel has only gotten 66 subscribers and very few views. So, let's get into it. Back in February 2011, YouTube user Steph posts a series of videos to document the creepy paranormal activity that she says she often experiences in her house's basement. But even as she tries to simply introduce her channel, things get a bit weird.
Hi everyone, my name is Steph. I live in New York, and I just wanted to do a little bit of an introduction to my channel, Steph's Basement 89.
She's definitely using the 2011 built-in camera on her laptop.
Basically, I think my house is haunted, which I know sounds silly, and I still feel kind of silly saying it, but I guess I shouldn't. We figured out that about the start of the new year of this year was when things started to happen. It's mostly in the basement, but right?
Who are you talking to? Apparently there's someone else there.
Did you, or are you f***ing with me?
Someone stayed at the doorway. I saw it.
A roommate.
Someone standing at the doorway.
Can you... Don't go far.
I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna check it out.
So, as I'm recording to you, pardon my language, I feel like.
So her voice is getting that real like shaky quality to it, which I think lends to a little credibility. It makes me want to believe her. I don't think she's lying, but I don't know. Maybe
I just saw
really
someone standing in the doorway, and so did she.
She is in New York.
No one, right?
No. That was definitely
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like someone walking around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll be back. But yeah, this is the introduction.
Hold on a second. What on earth? Oh god, even more. The storms today are really killer. Come on, load. Flash flood watch. Yeah. I've noticed. The rain has slowed down slightly, but we still have quite a bit of water left. My house makes a lot of sound, but that's because it's from the 1840s, 1860s. Yeah, they'll do that. My house from like the 1960s, 70s has been modernized since then. And I think it's kind of weird, like, that we get a lot of... I think we assume a lot that older houses settle more. But I think, logically, it would seem that newer houses would settle more. Because older houses will have already settled to where they're going to go. But, what do I know? I mean, it makes sense, but I could be completely wrong.
A pretty good introduction to my channel. And freaking out a little bit right now, but that's okay. Hope you enjoy. Bye.
Steph and her roommate Sam both claim to see something off camera, and we can hear strange noises in the background, but of course all of this could easily be faked. But trust me, things are gonna get much creepier. In this next video, we head down to what Steph alleges is the most haunted area of her home, the basement. Steph's little dog Bella seems a bit freaked out by something in the basement closet.
So normally when I come home from work, my dog Bella will come running to the door to greet me or whatever, and I just came home and she didn't do that, and it ends up she's down here in the basement just obsessing over this closet door. She's never done this before.
Again, I think I say it every single stream. Pay attention to animals and young kids. They see things we don't. I really believe that. So if they're telling you something's there, believe them. I say, can I see it? Then you would have to give me your location. Oh.
Looks as if she's waiting for it to open, or she thinks there's someone behind it. Where it's
you don't want to give Laura your location.
She's acting how she does when she wants to get into one of the rooms upstairs.
A creeper.
But she hasn't acknowledged me at all since I came home, which is very weird. Bella. She's not even answering to her name. I'm just gonna open it. If I go pull it. See, baby, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
She says, fuck you, there's nothing here.
There's nothing in there, crazy lady. Well, it's dark, but as you could probably see, there's no one in the closet, thank God. See, baby, there's nothing there, lady.
See, my biggest fear is something like this happens. You open the closet and there's not a ghost, but an actual weird person there. That would creep me out. 19th century schools are really that scary. Oh, aren't really that scary? You don't think? I disagree.
nothing, okay? Oh, she's back to sniffing it again. It's freaking me out. Come on, let's go upstairs.
Over the next month, Steph experiences random noises from the basement and even some unnerving sightings of what she believes to be a supernatural apparition. She sets up a camera to record her basement room, specifically the closet. Her recordings capture many hours of, well, nothing. But then, late one Friday night, this happens.
Interesting, because that's the same closet the dog was
Steph's
at.
friend Reese is casually sitting in the basement one night checking her phone. The closet door just pops open on its own.
She bails.
Now, Reese is a skeptic and doesn't believe the basement to be haunted at all. But still, we see her make a tiptoeing dash right out of the room, and we can hear her run up the stairs. So she definitely seems spooked. So now, we cut to one night where Steph and her friend Rochelle are hanging out as it gets close to the midnight hour. Steph decides to record a quick video for her roommate.
Fell to the floor. Dude, I keep getting Alexa alerts here. I think it's just weather alerts is all. I mean, it's definitely raining hard. No more ghosts.
Who is away
We're
on
just
a trip.
flooding.
What she catches on camera is absolutely terrifying.
No, okay. Terrible quality.
I won't break them. Michelle's getting like really good at the drums.
Oh wow.
So you might have some competition when you get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't break them. Michelle's getting like really good at the.
So it certainly looks like a person standing there.
Drums.
And then, man, I hate the terrible quality, but it is 2011. So got to keep that in mind.
So you might have some competition when you get back. We love you. We'll see.
And now gone. She did slightly change the angle she's standing at, I think, but I don't know if it would have that effect. It's built in 1948, and there is additional stuff added in 1872. Maybe 1848. It was a school until 1958. Interesting. Yeah. I would be investigating my own house, because that sounds pretty awesome, actually.
See you soon.
Did you see it? As Steph pans her camera by the open closet door, it looks as if an older woman in a white gown is just standing there, watching. When Steph pans back seconds later, no one there. So did Steph capture real paranormal activity in her basement?
Pretty weird.
And just what happened after this?
So, it's from 2011. There's not a lot of content on her page, apparently. Oh yeah, I figured so. So that's pretty interesting, man. It's an older video. I don't, like I said, she seems believable. I have no reason to think she's lying.
Well, we'll never know, because you see, Steph hasn't posted to her YouTube channel since these creepy incidents. Wow. 10 years ago. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. What remains? YouTuber and paranormal skeptic El Cubo Oficial was contacted by a homeowner who invited him to investigate strange paranormal activity in a house in Mexico. Years ago, the property the house sits on was a guava orchard. When land developers dug up the orchard, they were shocked to find the unexplained remains of 2 bodies buried in the orchard fields. One of the bodies was that of a young girl. A house was later built on this land, and the family living there has experienced nothing but terrifying supernatural activity.
All right.
They say things move on their own.
Let's see.
They hear the unexplained whispers of a child, and they've even seen the ghostly apparition of a young girl walking the hallways. Eventually, the family just decided to leave the house. But the homeowner, Pipa, now claims that the house is so haunted that no one will buy it. El Cubo Oficial agrees to investigate the allegedly haunted home. He is accompanied by paranormal investigator Paco Santin, psychic medium Aureli, and the home's owner, Pipa.
Psychic medium.
The investigation is streamed live to YouTube as the group enters the house and begins their investigation.
Niña.
Ah, no mames, aquí no hay sombra. Sí, sí.
¿Dónde?
Sí, aquí por el pasillo atrás de Paco. Aquí, para el cuarto este.
¿Acá?
Sí.
¿Quieres usar esta?
No, con esta. El más guárdate esta, Paquito. ¿Me puedes dar tu lamparita?
Sí, sí, sí.
Guárdate esa.
Voy.
¡Ay, no mames! Santi.
Wow.
Sí hay algo aquí, güey. Aquí. Sí hay... Santi.
So that's one of the better sound clips that I've heard. Let's give it a good listen.
¡Ay, no mames!
Voy.
I like that it's in Spanish, because weirdly, they try to give you like EVPs and they try to tell you what they're saying. You know, it'll be in like Germany or something, and they tell you it's saying something in English when it's clearly not, and that wouldn't even make sense. So they're in, I think it's in Mexico, right? And it's speaking in Spanish, so that all checks out. Makes sense.
Voy.
¡Ay, no mames! Santi. Sí hay algo aquí, güey.
Now, unless it's a hoax, of course. They could have planted a kid in there.
Aquí. ¿Dónde la escondiste, cabrón?
No, pues no hay nadie.
No te pases de verga, güey. Alguien hay una niña aquí, te lo juro que sí dijo hola. ¡Hola! ¡Oh!
La puerta se cerró. Estamos aquí.
¡Oh! Escucha, están caminando.
Ay, güey.
Hola. ¿Estás aquí?
¡Ah, mames!
Güey, no mames.
A tu culo, güey. ¿Hablaron, verdad? ¿Pero no es un vecino, Pipa?
No.
Oh.
Aquí está una niña, aquí está una presencia de una niña. Y está muy fuerte, ¿eh? Muy fuerte.
Hola.
Por eso le dice aquí, por favor.
No, tienes que aguantar.
I don't know if you could tell by my reactions, but I find psychic mediums to almost exclusively be full of shit. And you can, it's very easy to find the methods they use, like the ones that do readings and stuff. It's very easy to figure out how they do it. And then ones like this are, used in investigations and things. They generally just make stuff up based on a lot of the information they're already given. She already knew, a body of a girl was found there. They may be hearing a voice. That may be legitimate, but now she suddenly is going to chime in. Yes, there's a very strong presence of a little girl here. I could have told you that, Planet a kid. Okay, just put your feet in this spot. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. Go ahead and take a picture of my house. Nice. Put it in the Discord. Exclamation Discord. Should work.
Debe ser un vecino que traes, carnal. Sí, a huevo. No ves que sea un vecino, güey. No. Chécate en la puerta. Están hablando, güey. Eso no es normal, güey.
Pipa claims that he sees something lurking at the back door, and then they all hear the voice of a child from somewhere within the house. Now, YouTuber El Cubo Oficial is a complete skeptic when it comes to the paranormal, so he believes that the others might simply be playing a prank on him. After looking around and checking the back door, he asks all of them to empty their pockets and leave their phones on a mattress sitting on top of a table. This is to eliminate any chance that one of them might be simply playing a recording. At the exact moment that El Cubo Oficial is explaining to his live YouTube audience that he has a hard time believing in the paranormal, he captures something absolutely terrifying.
Pero se me hace difícil aceptar que hay una niña aquí, o sea, no es como... si quieren que sea honesto, yo escucho una persona viva. O sea, si quieren que sea honesto.
So what I mean, I know we get from movies and stuff, but what would you expect a ghost voice to sound like, if not like a living human person? I would think they would sound the same. Probably. I mean, a lot of the clips we've heard seem to not. They seem to be really muffled or kind of whispering and things like that. But I say if you get a real strong presence, it would probably sound like a real person in my mind. I ain't leaving my phone. Look at my DMs. Yeah, right? Check your browser history.
Tlacuache, gracias por tu apoyo. Nos quedamos en silencio.
Oh, shit! That was crazy. Did y'all see that?
Nos quedamos en silencio.
That's creepy, dude. Damn.
En silencio.
Did you see it? Without knowing it, El Cubo captures the pale face of a young girl in the door's window right behind him. It's not until many minutes later that they read the live chat and discover what they just captured on camera. When they go through the door and look inside the room, there's no one there. So did they possibly capture the ghost of the young girl whose remains were found on the property?
That's wild. That was a good one.
Is it all just an elaborate hoax?
It could be.
You decide.
It may be one of those ones that's too good. But they're so weird the way we look at things, because you look at some evidence, say, yeah, that's not very good, and then you got really great evidence comes in and like, that looks a little too good. I don't know where the balancing point is. I'm not sure I've seen it yet, but I don't know. I like this video. The fact that he's at least described as a skeptic adds to it. That's not exactly... I mean, I guess if you were gonna do a hoax, that would be a good move. Put, a face in the doorway, whatever. The voices, of course, easily faked, but they were quality. It sounded good. I actually thought they sounded a little more like a little boy than they did a little girl, but I could be completely wrong.
You can watch the full video with even more scary activity over on the YouTube channel El Cubo Oficial. Monster.
Just want to say hello with the shoving the cameras in his face. Yeah, that always happens. But all right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna run downstairs, make sure there's no water flowing into my living room. I might even grab a little cerveza. But I will be right back. Please stick around. Okay, we are back. Sorry, it took a little longer than I expected. We do have a little bit of water. Sorry if you can't hear me. We do have a little bit of water coming in the living room, but that's unfortunately kind of normal in this house when it rains this hard. And we've gotten like at least 7 inches of rain in the past like 4 hours. So it's raining real hard. Good news is the towels are doing their job. They're soaking it up. It's not overwhelming them. And the drainage outside is starting to catch up with the rain. It's slowing down a bit. So, yeah, fingers crossed it continues to improve. But the water level in the backyard is down probably 4 or 5 inches from where it was. So, all good news. Not all good news, but it's good. I'll drink 2 then. You want to drink now too? Let's do it. Let's all have a beer party. I got my extra big stein. I did have a perfect German pour too. I had head just up to here and all that. But I took so damn long to get back up here that this is our current situation. But it's fine. We still got a whole 32 ounces of delicious nectar of the gods. Took an ice cream instead. I like ice cream as much as the next guy, but it's not beer.
On the wall.
All right, here we go.
Caitlin Nichols is the proud mother of 2-year-old triplet girls. Who shares her journey from infertility.
I have one 2-year-old girl, and she's enough of a handful.
Fertility to motherhood on TikTok and other social media.
So I can't drink beer.
Her TikTok is dedicated to sharing stories and videos of her 3 girls, and she has never posted anything related
British.
to the paranormal.
I've never asked.
That is, until one evening when the baby monitor in her children's bedroom captures something very creepy after the girls wake up from their nap.
Again, I go right back to the listen to kids, listen to pets. Oh, you're Swedish? Oh, okay. It's 18 there, too.
The triplets are all watching and pointing at the exact same wall, and they seem to be talking to something that isn't there. Caitlin says that she has no idea what the girls saw and is unable to.
We do have a security camera and a baby monitor separately in our daughter's room. So I'm hoping we don't run into a problem where she starts talking to someone in her room. But if we do, I will definitely share what we find out. She's gotten, I think she listens to me too much because she's gotten to a point where she thinks everything's a ghost. If I click on the security camera in her room to see what she's doing, she's in there playing or whatever, it makes a click, like a clicking sound, and a little light comes on. And she'll look at it, and then you'll see her like scamper out of her room really quick. She'll come running out to the living room wherever I am. She'll, "Daddy, ghost!" She's pointing back at her room, yelling at me, very convinced there was a ghost in her room. I have to explain to her that no, it was just me. It's just me and the camera.
Explain their odd behavior.
Kind of funny though.
But then, on another night at 3:40 a.m., her daughter Millie wakes up crying, scared of something on the exact same wall.
Okay, so maybe there's something to it. But kids have nightmares. See things in their nightmares, wake up, and think it's real. It happens. I mean, it happens to adults. Kids just they're dependent, so they're gonna cry and call for their mom or whatever they're gonna do when they need help. That's more than likely what's going on here. The one with all three of them, I don't know.
Little Millie sobs as she explains to her mother that she saw
it's really hard for a 2-year-old to explain things as well. She could be telling her mom that she had a dream and there was a monster on the wall, but she doesn't know how to word it or how to communicate that it was a bad dream. Maybe you are the ghost. Man, see, maybe I'm one of those ghosts that doesn't know he's a ghost. What was that movie? The Others? If you haven't seen it, sorry, spoiler alert. With what the hell's her name? Nicole Kidman, right? Anyway, yeah, The Others. What else? Ghost Dad. I would be like Ghost Dad. He didn't know he was a ghost for a while anyway.
Monster on the wall in her room. So just what are the triplets seeing? Is it possible that they can see something that we can't? You can watch more videos of the girl's eerie and unsettling reactions over on Caitlin's TikTok page, 555 MPH, a triplet story. At a glance. Josh from the YouTube channel Other Studios reached out to me about a friend of his named Cody. Josh claims that Cody was alone in his house in Oxford, North Carolina one day when suddenly strange things began to happen. Lights begin to flicker and he can hear the sound of things being moved around in his home. Needless to say, Cody is pretty freaked out. But he takes out his phone and starts to record short videos of the strange events to send to his...
And I have to clean up her puke. But I know you like Marmite. At least that makes it kind of worth it.
Girlfriend.
That's not the way that's supposed to sound. So we're looking at classic poltergeist type activity here.
Eventually, Cody has had enough and steps outside for just a few seconds to take a break from the crazy things happening in his house. After taking a moment to gather his courage, he starts recording again and steps back inside. What he captures is absolutely terrifying.
That's good. I'm glad you like your cat. I hate my cat. It's not even mine. It's my wife's.
Nope.
So this is so easily faked, even with the most rudimentary video editing skills, which I do not possess. Everything we've seen so far, it's been pretty easily faked and pretty predictable too. Like the door closed towards him, super easy to fake, as he happened to be panning over to it. The water and the lights in the bathroom, they were doing that before he walked in there, started recording. Things like that. This kind of reeks of a poorly executed hoax, in my opinion.
Doors have opened on their own and a chair has fallen over on its side. But most terrifying of all, a face can be seen staring at Cody from the top right corner of a doorway. Cody is shocked when he...
So that's a little creepy. For sure. Pretty creepy indeed. Sorry, I'm looking at this restream thing, man. It's kind of cool. I downloaded it like 5 minutes before I went live, so I don't know anything about it. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Let's look.
outside, but most terrifying of all, a face can be seen staring at Cody from the top right corner of a doorway.
It looks like it moves into the door frame as in there. So we got something a little bit not so much your pretty low budget hoax. This would be not that difficult to fake, but be more difficult, and he didn't focus on it when he went in, which he seemed to on the other things that looked like they were fake. So it's pretty interesting. Trying to shift my brain, like I said, into that objective mode, try to get out of the matrixing effect, and try to think of what it could be other than a face. I first thought, does that be a pretty big face? I'm trying to look at my door frame. It looks like it'd take up about a third of that door frame. So that'd be a pretty big face, I think. Very strange. Sometimes if I squint really hard, it'll make it look like something else. That's a cutting edge paranormal investigator method, by the way. Patent pending. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty interesting, actually. Restream, like streaming to multiple platforms at the same time. Yeah, I am doing, for the first time ever, I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. They started recording a hoax, then real haunting. Okay, this is interesting you say that, because that actually crossed my mind with this one. Maybe he was recording a hoax, and all of a sudden this thing shows up coincidentally. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It could be a matrixing thing, but I can't pinpoint what it could be instead of a face. It's pretty creepy anyway. Would be a nice payback for the ghost. Yeah, it would.
Cody is shocked when he reviews his footage. To this day, Cody still has no idea what this horrifying face could be. So what do you think that is? You can watch the full video over on his YouTube channel, Other Studios.
I do not know.
Which, despite the rather suspect sounding name, Josh claims is not a short film, quote, studio channel. In point of fact, Josh has never uploaded anything other than this one video. Raid Shadow Ledge. Scratch that. The Raid. Now this next clip is another case where I've been unable to find the original source video, even after hours of searching. The video is in Portuguese and was posted to Reddit by user Mr. Miracle BR. He claims that he found the clip on Twitter, where it was shared by a Brazilian police officer. The video allegedly shows a raid by law enforcement officers in Brazil. Now, I have no way to verify the backstory on this one, but the clip is definitely very creepy.
Caralho, bicho, que é isso, mano? Cuidado, Judá. Cuidado, mano.
You have to blur out guns on YouTube?
Mano, não tem nada. Caralho, mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano.
That's pretty interesting.
Mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano, bora, mano.
So I don't think it'd be anything natural, because, I mean, it would have to be perpetual motion, and as we all know, in the scientific community, perpetual motion does not exist. Something has to be acting on it anyway, is what I'm saying, to make it move, and to keep that same speed back and forth, the same energy every time. Something has to be acting upon it. Wind, maybe. It'd be a pretty weird effect by wind. Night War weapon tags on YouTube. It would be demonetized and stuff. Really? That's interesting. I wonder if... I like Donut Operator, and he always shows like police videos and always shows their guns. I wonder if he's demonetized. Well, and there's another one. Arthur Ray, the Estonian soldier. He always has his gun behind him. I don't know. That's weird. He's monetized. Donut Operator, and Artur, Artur, Ray. I don't know how to spell last name. Maybe RHEI. Anyway, they always have guns in their videos.
Vai, mano, vai, mano. Vai, mano, vai, mano. Vai, mano.
Now, Donut Operator has to blur out the blood when someone gets shot. But, I mean, that makes sense, I guess. This ghost is really ruining their raid.
A door violently opens and closes on its own, freaking out the team of men searching through what appears to be an abandoned building. But, did you see it? As the men run and the cameraman waits for the others to catch up, a horrifying face appears to quickly pop up from the edge of a door frame before disappearing back inside.
I don't know about that one. See, this is a perfect example of matrixing. I don't think this is a face. I don't know what it is. Don't think it's a face. But your mind is telling you, in order to make this make sense, we got two eyes, eyebrows, and the nose. But if you look at it objectively, does it really look like a face? No, not really. You could say it looks like a fist. Here's the fingers, the knuckles, like the second or the second knuckle here, the third knuckle here, and the thumb maybe like right here. You could say it's a fist. That makes sense too. Now I can't unsee a fist. That's how matrixing works. Shouldn't the others have seen that then? I mean, you would think if there was someone in there. But who knows? I mean, there's a lot of things. Again, everything in the field of paranormal research and paranormal investigation is theoretical. We don't know anything for a fact because there's no scientific principle, I guess, to base things upon. So everything's theoretical. So there's theory, just like with EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, that there will be possibly some things that show up on video that you can't see in person. I should explain EVP more for those that don't know what it is, to put that more in context. EVP, like I said, electronic voice phenomenon. Basically, that's why all your ghost hunters, paranormal investigators, demonologists, everything like that, when they're doing an investigation, they always have some kind of voice recorder. Because it seems, the theory is that, it'll pick things up that you can't hear or you don't happen to be able to hear at the time. You can go back, listen, and hear these things. Again, theoretical, but it would seem, based on a lot of evidence we've heard over many years of this going on, that does seem to be the case. We're hearing things on these devices that no one heard in person. So that would lend itself to the theory that the visual side of that would be the same. Your camera will pick something up that you don't see. I'm a finger got a boo-boo. Uh-oh. It seems that Donut Operator can make up to 1.3 million per year on YouTube. Man, good for him.
Back inside. It happens so fast that only when the clip is slowed down can the face be seen emerging out of thin air. But is it real? Or is it all just a very elaborate hoax? You decide.
I don't know, those guys didn't look too police or military-y. That being said, I don't know the standard of training for Brazilian police. It could be really, really high. It could be really low. I just don't know.
As always, thanks so much for watching. Please follow me on Instagram here and on Twitter right there.
Really?
See you next week.
YouTube's crazy, man. They like mistakenly demonetize people all the time too. It's pretty weird. Okay, here we go. Move on to the next one. Let's see if we can find one that's not ghosts. Let's try to change things up a little bit. One that's not ghosts that we haven't watched before. Because they also have like crypto type things. You know, like your chupacabras, your Bigfoots, big feet. Ghost. There we go. 5 creepy creature videos. We're gonna check that one out real quick. Let's see. Also, if you want to keep the comment section open, you need to mark your video not safe for kids. Okay, I wonder why it always asks me that. If you mark your video safe for kids, the comment section will be the same. That makes sense. Yeah, big feet? I don't know. That would it be multiple big feet or Bigfoots? I'm not sure the rules. There's probably not any. Here we go. Creepy creature videos that are scary as heck.
Top 10 strange and mysterious creatures caught on camera. A creeper in the corner.
Ooh.
Now, this video is a bit of a mystery. It was uploaded by Reddit user Spuzz, who says that he found it on Instagram a few years back, but he isn't quite sure who originally posted it. I've looked into it myself, but I just can't seem to find the original source.
Okay.
So, anyway, in the video, a group of boys are investigating what seems to be an abandoned house. When they reach the basement, their exploration takes a terrifying turn.
I'm here. You starting the vlog? Okay. Yeah. What the is down here? There's a candle, bro. There's a.
You know what? We've seen this one.
Candle. Candle.
It's definitely kind of creepy. Actually, it's kind of terrifying.
No, I want to see what the lights off. Lights off, dude.
Turn your lights off? No. Go to hell, kid. Are you crazy?
What the shit? I can't see shit. Oh, I can't see shit. Wait, hold on, turn your flashlight. What the is that?
The boys find a lit candle in the basement. Then a bizarre...
I feel like, now that I've seen this again, like it's a good creepy video. I feel like you can see enough with the given light that these boys stayed there longer than they probably would have had this been real. That's the way it's striking me, really. That being said, it is a cool, creepy ass video. They should remove a feature and recommend YouTube Kids instead for their parents. Yeah. Agreed. Help a lot with some demon. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And my daughter wears out YouTube Kids. She loves that shit. There's some really annoying videos on there, though, that I wish she wouldn't watch so much. But she loves it, so whatever.
Our hunched over pale figure seems to crawl out of the darkness. When the boys finally see the figure in their flashlight beam, it hisses at them, and they scream in terror and make a run for it.
I can't see shit. Wait, hold on, turn your flashlight. What the is that?
Now, what's even stranger about this video is that Reddit commenters pointed out that when the footage is brightened and slowed down, you can see that the figure only seems to have 3 fingers. But
no, it doesn't. It just looks like, I mean, your hand, given the proper angle, will look like it only has 3 fingers. Right? Right? Am I crazy? I think that's all that's all about. But people on Reddit, you know how they are, man. They get crazy.
But what do you think? Is this a creepy 3-fingered creature hiding in a dark basement? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. Crawler. Polish YouTube user Leviathan claims that he often hears the horrifying screeches of some unknown creature from the woods near his house.
Banshees. Another very interesting type of spirit. They're kind of considered to be an omen, I guess, a harbinger of death, if you will. Basically, harbinger. I don't know, but anyway, it's an Irish folklore, the banshee. supposedly, or I would suspect, inhuman spirits. They live in the forest, and they say if you hear the scream of a banshee, that means someone close to you is about to die. Possibly you're about to die. It's an omen of death. It just strikes me, the sounds leading into this story sounds like a banshee problem.
Usually the strange wails and moans are of no concern, as they seem to be coming from far away, deep in the woods. But one night, the screeches seem
Pretty sure we've watched this whole
closer.
video before.
Leviathan decides to investigate, and it did not go well.
Yeah, we have seen this. So that's not the traditional sound of a banshee, I'll say that. The banshee supposedly sounds more like a real high-pitched scream. Let's see if we can find an example. Oops. If I could type. Banshee scream. Apparently there's a bicycle called that. Yeah, Harbinger of Death. Damn, I'm good. Let's find one that's not. Screaming banshee on trail camera. Okay, let's make sure we note also, however, that this sound also sounds a lot like a fox. Foxes sound really creepy, like you wouldn't expect. Okay, that's not a fox. What that is either rabbits or raccoons in distress, maybe being eaten by a fox. Definitely not a banshee. Let's see if this one actually has something. I've heard a fox scream. Yeah, that's crazy, right? So I've heard fox before while sleeping. Kind of creeped me out. Yeah. It's not quite. I mean, again, no one really knows. But from ones I've heard that are alleged, supposedly, not so much actual recordings of banshees, but the sound people that have supposedly heard them say they sound like. But neither of those really fit the bill. Either way, it doesn't sound like this.
Some YouTube commenters with a belief in the supernatural claim that the creature is a, quote, crawler, a being that allegedly dwells in secluded places.
One thing I can tell you, I'm not aware of Polish gun laws, but you probably would see a different outcome if that was in like Florida or Texas. Somebody would be popping off some shots, and we'd really find out what it is.
Like caves and mines.
Same with Bigfoot.
Leviathan was understandably shaken up by his experience.
I received 100 messages today.
To be aggressive.
That's pretty cool, actually.
What do you
Restream
think?
tells you got 100.
Let me know.
Good job, guys. It's been mostly YouTube.
To see more of Leviathan's alleged encounters with this creature, check out his YouTube channel. Before we move on to the next video, if you see anything that you think should be included in the top 5, contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com. A very creepy Christmas. A family in northern Minnesota is celebrating Christmas. As one of the family members films, out the window she spots something strange in the distance, moving along the tree line. The family members head out into the snow to investigate.
Oh my god. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, we've seen that. I remember this too. Oh, y'all on tanks right now? Dude, STRV is. I see you've redeemed Hydrate. I found a weakness in Restream. It doesn't show me those notifications of people redeeming points. So that's kind of annoying.
Stay here, Rip. You stay here.
I'm gonna get closer. I don't know.
Potato ass camera. This is like if a rotary phone had a camera built in, it would look like this.
You guys hear it?
There it is, right over there.
Oh my god.
Shaw looks like something moving through the woods. It's moving like your quintessential Bigfoot.
Oh my god. We better get back inside, guys.
The family dog, a little Jack Russell Terrier, seems to be particularly freaked out by the mysterious dark figure.
To be
it
fair,
charges out into the woods
Jack
in
Russells
pursuit,
are often
only
freaked
to
out.
come running back seconds later in abject terror.
High quality.
The footage was posted
I
to a
don't know.
YouTube channel that mainly focuses on cars and weapons, so very little information was provided about the family.
So you're focusing, your whole YouTube life is focused on weapons. I assume he means guns. And nobody thought to grab a piece and run out there and see what's what. That's what I would have done. I say that. I talk all this stuff, but I don't know what I would have done. But that would be what I would like to do.
Family in the video. Some YouTube commenters believe the creature to be a Sasquatch or Bigfoot. But what do you think? Is this real footage of a Bigfoot caught on camera? And if not, why does it seem to absolutely terrify that little dog? All
Anything that looks like that, even if it's a person in like a Bigfoot suit, it's gonna freak out a dog. So you can't really base anything on that. But it sure looked like, what we've been led to believe a Bigfoot looks like.
Great and small. Gwendolyn Severite and her husband live in a small tribal village in Saskatchewan, Canada. One night, they go outside to try to scare some annoying stray tomcats off their property with a spotlight. But instead, they find something truly bizarre. Gwendolyn takes out her phone and starts recording.
Oh yeah. Freaking gnome, dude.
Did you get it?
Yep. What the hell is that?
It's David the gnome.
Turn the light on. Turn the light on again. The heck is that?
It's an elf.
Could be an elf.
Turn
I
the
think
light
it's
on
a
again.
gnome. It's a pretty good spotlight, though.
I just saw it.
Now, the native tribal lands
Pretty cool.
where Gwendolyn lives have many
Trying to
stories
steer
and
away from that
lore about
14,
so-called, quote,
Good catch.
little people.
Good catch.
When looking back at the footage, whatever they captured appears to be a small creature, but with human-like arms and hands. So, is this footage of little gnome-like people? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide.
It might be a hoax, but it looks
Return
pretty
to
cool
the water.
anyway.
In the Philippines, 5 young friends vlog about their day as they fish on the Busay River. Without even noticing, they catch something chilling.
Temi karon sa Busay, among buhaton karon managa me. Mo ni sa ang Busay. Sige, pailahila pud mo mga amigon. Ako nga pala si Justin. Ako pala si John Lee.
Ako naman si Raven.
Mo ni among kuan para managa me. Tata. Tara.
Tara na to.
Ambak dags. Ambak di dagsok pag dula-dula sa ta, dula-dula. Ambak dags, ambak. Wah! Alisa, wag kuan sa ta dire. Pagitay ba pag okay ba nabay mga kuan dia.
Did you see it? In the background, no more than 15 feet away, a coal-like figure seems to run towards the river and then simply disappear out of sight.
There's somebody taking a bath. Mowgli back here.
When the boys unknowingly walk over to the same spot only moments later, no one there. This mysterious footage remains unexplained. Only
Looks like Mowgli to me.
away. Shanique Legacy from Fort Pierce, Florida was looking out into his backyard when he saw something move. Thinking it was some stranger skulking around his house, he grabbed his phone and took a quick picture. Later, when he looks back at the photo, he's shocked by what he thinks he's captured. You see, Shanique believes the dark shape lurking in his backyard bushes is a werewolf. So, anyway, still reeling from the terrifying encounter, he grabs his phone and starts a live broadcast on...
Forewarning. Yeah, I think we've watched this whole video before. But if I remember right, this dude is absolutely hilarious in his reaction to this.
Facebook. He explains to his friends what he has just witnessed, and also shares his rather unique take on the experience.
If that was a wild dog, that was a huge ass wild dog. That was too big. That was too big, man. I don't know what the going on, y'all. I'm so freaked out right now. So I went back and, re-looked at the pictures again and zoomed in on them. And I promise you, dog, it looked like a werewolf or something was staring at me, like was literally looking dead at me, like looking right at me, like got me at the one eye, just looking at my ass, one eye on me, looking at me.
Now, at first, Shanique's live broadcast may seem like a hoax or even a comedy bit. But during the live stream, Shanique heads over to his backyard door. He intends to show his live stream viewers where the creature was standing. But instead, he captures this.
That's my backyard. I'm zooming in a little piece. This is the exact spot that I just... Like, I really don't know what the going on, man. Like, on some real ass like, this ain't no joking ass dog. Man, I swear to God, I don't know what is going on, but I am so freaked the out right now. Y'all, hell no, I ain't finna open up that mother door again. Hell no, you ain't just see that. I know I ain't the only one just seen that dog. Hell no. Hell to the mother. No, hell no.
So funny.
A strange transparent shape seems to quickly dart across Shanique's backyard. His live stream viewers believe that the figure could be anything from a supernatural wolf-like creature to an evil demonic entity. As for Shanique, he says he is terrified and claims he has seen and continues to see a scary creature resembling a werewolf lurking around his home. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please follow me on Twitter at NukesTop5 because it's a nice thing to do. See you soon.
Just a second. Got my boss texting me. All right, right back at it. 5 scary ghost videos that you thought you would never see.
Top 5 ghosts.
I don't know why I couldn't put those words together right then.
All on camera.
I just really struggled to get that out.
Really haunted.
Ooh.
Lee and his family have been experiencing terrifying paranormal activity in their home in England. Over the last 2 years, Lee says that the supernatural encounters have become more frequent, more terrifying, and more violent. Lee documents these strange incidents on his YouTube channel, Really Haunted.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those. Those clips look familiar. I think we've seen some of them before.
Featured a few of the spooky occurrences in Lee's house.
The mother
and
country.
It seems that whatever might be haunting the family home is not going anywhere. Lee has cameras recording the living room and bedroom as he, his wife, and their cute little puppy Luna are fast asleep in bed. What happens that night throughout the house is truly disturbing.
It's a lot of energy to move a couch that size. So that was interesting. My first thought would be on that, of course, there's something, a bug or something moving really close to the camera. That's just without looking closer at it. I don't know. But the dog seems to notice it, which he probably wouldn't if it was just something really close up on the camera lens or something. Pup's like, what in tarnation is going on? So I don't want cameras in my house. If I'm sleeping, I'd rather not know what's going on. Yeah. That's sound logic. The pup's like, no, you don't understand.
Downstairs in the living room, the heavy couch slides across the floor as if it's nothing. Then back upstairs in the bedroom, puppy Luna wakes up from her sleep and starts frantically looking around as if she's hearing or seeing something that frightens her. She calms down a bit, but then suddenly a white translucent figure moves in front of the camera, startling Luna once again. A desk chair seems to move towards the bed on its own. Then suddenly, the small dog is spooked by something that seems to be right next to the bed. She begins to whimper, which finally wakes Lee. So Luna's behavior and reactions throughout this video are what makes this footage so creepy
that's what I'm
and
saying.
so
That would
compelling.
take a lot of energy.
It's almost as if she can see something the family can't, and it terrifies her. So did Lee and his family capture extreme paranormal evidence on camera? You decide. The haunting of the Jefferson Hotel. The historic Jefferson Hotel was left abandoned for 2 years before the new owners, Jeremy and Pam Jones, bought the 170-year-old building in Jefferson, Texas.
That'd be cool.
The two paranormal enthusiasts poured their love and a lot of hard work.
Okay, so this is one of those red flags we talk about, right? You have a paranormal enthusiast. I am one, so I feel kind of stupid saying this. However, just given the history of what we've seen in the past, these people buy this old hotel. They're paranormal enthusiasts. Then all of a sudden, oh, this hotel we bought is haunted. Here's all this evidence. Watch our videos. Make us famous. Put us on Discovery Plus or some damn thing. You know, I was just thinking that same thing. It certainly does not look like there's enough head clearance right here. But it looks like they just built this staircase and just cut that hole for it to go through. So, yeah, the other thing worth noting on that is it doesn't stop at the top floor or at the floor up here. It keeps going. Where are you going, stairs? You forgot to stop.
work into the restoration of the allegedly haunted hotel and held a grand reopening of the Jefferson in October of 2020. The hotel has seen its fair share of dark history. It was built in 1851 and first opened as a cotton warehouse, where it is said that 2 7-year-old child workers lost their lives under the harsh working conditions. In the late 1800s, the hotel was
a sad yet not uncommon
During
story.
That time,
of
it is said that a teenage, quote, working girl named Judy lost her life at the hands of a client. She passed away in the bathtub.
Another sad yet not uncommon story of the kind.
Of room 19.
Of the time. Did I say kind?
Today, the apparition of Judy is said to appear in the mists of hot showers, and sometimes even scribbles messages pleading for help on the bathroom mirror. One guest at the historic Jefferson Hotel says that she was able to capture the frightening incident on camera. Georgia Canfield is staying overnight at the hotel with her mother and grandmother when the three suddenly see a chilling message on their hotel mirror.
Okay, so going back to what I was saying before about the people that bought it and all this stuff happening, a little different knowing that it's not them that are showing these posting these videos, presenting this evidence and stuff like that. It's actual guests at the hotel. So that leans us back into a little bit more credibility, I think.
No, I just noticed it. I don't know if it was there when I came in here or if when I started running my hot water. I don't know. I just know that we came in here to wash my face.
That was not there. Can you confirm that was not? We checked that earlier.
I didn't see it earlier.
Do you see it now?
Yes, I see it. That's why I'm not going in there.
Georgia, her mother, and grandmother have no idea where the message came from, and their freaked out reactions to the strange event seem very sincere. But that's not the end of the Jefferson Hotel's haunted history. In 1912, a pregnant bride named Lydia Grigsby took her own life inside room 19 after her fiancé sent word that he would not be coming to the wedding.
And that's pretty funny.
Today,
and I'm guessing
male guests traveling alone have reported seeing the beautiful ghost of a bride with golden hair. One night on a tour through the hotel, guests Angela and Cody Goins might have captured the Jefferson Hotel ghost bride on camera. Using the live photo mode on an iPhone, which snaps a photo in a quick 3-second video, they capture what appears to be a bride-like apparition. You can almost make out a dress.
Is it bride-like? Okay, so let's look at this. I'm thinking this is some kind of light effect playing on the camera because bride-like, again, they tell you these things, it's so you're like, oh yeah, that is bride-like. No, I'm not thinking so. Because if you look, this looks like a door frame or a corner of a wall or something, right? And this apparition is perfectly straight, perfectly parallel to that wall, that frame. Perfectly straight. An apparition is not, or a person, I should say, because we're supposed to believe this is the apparition of a person. Not going to be that way. So I think we're getting some kind of weird reflection, light play on the lens coming off of this. I think it is a door frame. We're going to call it a door frame. I think that's what we're seeing. It's like your fingerprints are kind of hard to see, but when it steams up, those fingerprints don't seem... Yeah. I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic ghost prank.
A face, and even a bridal train. Now, a much more disturbing apparition has also been witnessed at the hotel. Some guests have even reported waking up at night to find the horrifying figure standing in their hotel room, just watching them sleep. Now, the new owners of the historic Jefferson Hotel, Jeremy and Pam Jones, are starting to experience paranormal activity in their own hotel. One night at 2 a.m., Jeremy is doing some work in the hotel hallway, and this happens.
So looks pretty legitimate. I mean, he looks like he's just doing work. He's got his drill, his ladder there, straightening. Is that an actual railroad crossing sign or like a rug. I don't know, whatever. Seems kind of out of place on the floor, but yeah, he just looks like he's doing some work around there. Nothing too suspicious. So the context.
There's no
is
audio on this video, but Jeremy claims that he heard a voice right before this hotel door mysteriously unlatches and swings open on its own. Now that's creepy.
So he says he's here. I notice he looks back, which would be by itself a little suspicious. But he said he heard a voice first, so that would explain why.
Be enough, but that's not the only night they capture something truly bizarre on camera. Cut to another late night. It's 4 a.m. and Jeremy and his wife are fast asleep in bed when one of the motion sensing cameras in the upstairs hallway picks up something or someone moving around. The hotel is completely empty, so Jeremy fears that an intruder might be inside. He runs upstairs, but as he looks down into the hallway from the stairwell, he doesn't see anyone. He wakes up his wife Pam and they look back at the security footage. They are both shocked by what they find. At the end of the hallway, right outside room 19, which is said to be the most haunted room in the hotel, someone or something seems to be walking. Jeremy and his wife Pam search the hotel together but find no one.
I do want people to know, a little PSA. They do make security cameras out, most of them in fact, that are 1080p. They're not that expensive anymore. Let's go ahead and start buying 1080p security cameras.
One inside. Who or whatever this strange figure is, it seems to have mysteriously just disappeared.
Yeah,
so is the historic Jefferson Hotel haunted? And did the owners and guests capture real paranormal activity on camera?
There's some pretty good clips in there. I like that.
You can watch more paranormal moments and captures in the hotel on Jeremy and Pam's official Facebook and YouTube channel, both of which are named The Historic Jefferson Hotel. If you see a video that you think would be perfect for the top 5, or if you have a ghost hunting channel and you caught something great, contact me at nukestop5@gmail.com. Whispers in the dark. So I just could not find a Thai language translator for this next video. So I put out a request on Instagram at the last minute, and Nuke's Top 5 viewers Humberto and Pammy Gutierrez actually stepped up and volunteered to translate this video. So a huge thank you to both of them. Follow them on Instagram. So paranormal investigator Dr. B from the Thai YouTube channel Ghost Ambassador travels to an abandoned country club in Thailand with his team. Locals believe that the tall building is extremely haunted by angry spirits. It is said that 2 men who were hanging out on the roof of the building were pushed off by something that they couldn't see. The men fell 5 stories to the ground. 1 man tragically lost his life, but the other man lived to tell the horrific tale. Dr. B interviews a local man who lives nearby. The man explains to the team that the 4th floor of the abandoned club is the most supernaturally active. Many visitors have seen the terrifying apparition of a girl stroking her hair. And those who are brave enough to walk through the building say that they get the strange feeling that someone or something is following close behind them.
Sorry.
While the team is interviewing the man in front of the creepy building, the camera's microphone starts to pick up odd, unexplained whispers.
แต่ถ้าว่าพี่เดินไปเนี่ยสังเกตทางชั้น4อ่ะถ้าเอาขวดพลาสติกขึ้นไปไว้นะถ้าลมมันแรงปุ๊บมันจะวิ่งออกหน้าปุ๊บแล้วมันจะสกรูถอยหลังมาหาพี่เหมือนมันเล่นกับพี่
An unknown voice seems to whisper the words "Chwai Duai," which in English translates to "Please help."
มันจะวิ่งออกหน้าปุ๊บแล้วมันจะสกรูถอยหลังมาหาพี่เหมือนมันเล่นกับพี่
These chilling whispers occur several times throughout the video.
ไม่ได้สติเลยหน้าธนาคารเขาบอกว่าเขามีพระผมสีหน้ายิ่งถ้าคนน้อยนะทิ้งจุดเดียวผมพูดได้เลยว่าแต่ละชั้นจะไม่โอเคเขา
Help.
มันจะวิ่งออกหน้าปุ๊บแล้วมันจะสกรูถอยหลังมาหาพี่เหมือนมันเล่นกับพี่
These chilling whispers occur several times throughout the video.
ไม่ได้สติเลยหน้าธนาคารเขาบอกว่าเขามี
Are we not going to talk about the creepy guy? It's probably just a creepy guy. But, like, come out of the shadows, homie. Damn.
เพราะผมสีหน้า ยิ่งถ้าคนน้อยนะ ทิ้งทุกจุดเลยผมพูดได้เลยว่าแต่ละชั้นจะไม่โอเคเขาพี่ป๋องอะมาที่เนี่ยพี่ป๋องแล้วก็ทีมงานของเขา
There he goes
เพราะว่าเขากราบไหว้กันอะไรกัน มึงไม่เชื่อมึงก็อย่าลบหลู่งั้นผมเป็นกินเงินพนันมาไม่รู้เท่าไหร่แล้วผมนี่ก็จองความหวัง
But it gets even creepier when they talk about the female spirit who is said to haunt the 4th floor of the creepy abandoned building. This happens.
ไหนนะพี่เขาบอกพี่อู๋อะมายืนตรงเนี้ยแล้วพี่อู๋มองขึ้นไปชั้น4จะเห็นเลยจริงเหรอล่มพัง อะไรนะแต่เสียงอะไรไม่เข้าใจเสียงว่าช่วยด้วยเสียงใครเนี่ยลูกเพจเขาได้ยินแบบเยอะมาก
Did you see it?
I saw something.
A strange white translucent figure seems to move, perhaps even walk, straight into a solid wall.
Wow.
The figure seems to have no particular shape, but viewers believe it to be the spirit of the girl who haunts the 4th floor. So, are the stories true? Is the country club haunted by angry, restless spirits? Or just what is going on here?
Not bad
Tell
at all.
me what you think. Meanwhile, on TikTok user Sabrina Lozito shares a home with her boyfriend Christopher and their 2 children in Bayville, New Jersey. The couple claims that they experience frequent strange paranormal events in their home. And it's not so surprising as the house has a gruesome history that sounds like something right out of a horror movie. You see, years ago the house was relocated and it was placed right on top of an old cemetery.
So cliche in the paranormal field. Oh, this was built on top of an old cemetery. Oh, a cult used to hang out here and sacrifice pigeons or some damn thing. It's always the same damn stories. Old burial ground, old whatever. Why do you Americans do that? Why move the house? Usually, from what I've seen several of them moved. The house is usually of significant historical value, and they need the land it's on for development or something else. Or in the case of what's happened here recently is we get some beach erosion and some houses that are historically significant need to be relocated. It's usually something like that. It's an important house for historical purposes, and something came up and it needs to be moved. And it's usually cheaper to move a house than to build a new one. However, it is not cheap to move a house. It's a very, very specialized thing. So like say, you know, you own a house, you own it outright. Okay. Say you don't owe any money on any mortgage on it. And you buy a nice piece of land somewhere. You're like, well, for $200,000, I could build a new house on this land. Or for, you know, this is just a number, I don't know. But for $20,000 or $30,000, I can have my house moved there. So there's different reasons for it. Yeah, KDK. I don't think it's that high, but I know it's expensive. Let's see. Cost of moving a house. How much does it cost to relocate a home? Here we go. Belongings, but use to move there. Oh, this is moving things. We need to actually move a house. University campus Detroit, it will uproot in 2019 and make space for a new lobby. It'll be a $750,000 project to just go around the block. This is a 3,000 square foot house though. 124 years old, so it's probably brick. Okay. As you might imagine, moving house is not a flat fee type service. There are many factors that go into the pricing of a home move, though on average, costs for the industry seem to land between $12 and $16 per square foot. So, let's say we wanted to move my house. We'll go on the expensive side, just because everything here is more expensive. 2,100 square foot times 16. It's about $33,000 to move my house. You can't build my house for anywhere near that. So, yeah, that's another reason, I suppose.
Where it still stands to this day. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, Sabrina also says that an elderly man passed away in the home just before they moved in. So, one night Sabrina and her boyfriend are watching a movie when their dog suddenly starts freaking out. But they have no idea why. Then, only moments later, they get a notification from their CCTV camera that there's movement in their backyard.
It's too small to be doing things.
They rush to check their footage, and what they find is
roads
chilling.
aren't even wide enough.
This is my video camera was
and they curve too much.
No one's out back. Took a look.
At least in the cities.
Check this out. Watch in between the square. Mainly watch this spot right here. You can see a shadow up here. Boom.
And no one's there.
Yeah, that's interesting. It does certainly look like a shadow appears out of nowhere.
You can see a shadow up here. Boom.
Huh. I wonder what the frame rate on their camera is. Let's look. I saw a bug fly by.
Out.
See if
watch in between the square.
Okay, so those are pretty smooth. So it looks like the frame rate's actually pretty good. You can barely fit some trucks on some of our roads. Yeah. Because they're so old, you know. They weren't made for vehicles. They were made for like people to walk down, or horses, maybe a small cart, horse-drawn cart or something. But even some of the older towns here in the U.S., the roads are really narrow because when they were built, pretty much just horses, an occasional buggy, you know, was going down the road. It wasn't an SUV. That's what I love about my country. So historical and has such life to it. Yeah, it is interesting. I like old stuff. We're not too far, actually. In Florida, we have pretty rich history as far as America goes. But St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest continuously inhabited city in the United States. It was settled by the Spanish in, what was it? I want to say like 1510 or something like that. Early 16th century anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of history here in Florida itself. Another quite interesting thing, I think, is St. Augustine, the oldest, which isn't that, you know, surprising. It's on the east coast of Florida. So you have the entire Atlantic Ocean, and it has a good port, you know. So pretty understandable why it would be so old. But the second oldest city in the United States, oddly enough, is Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is in the middle of the country, in pretty much the high desert. It's pretty good size. It's the capital of New Mexico, but nowhere near a coast. But it was settled also in the early 16th century by Mexican missionaries, I believe, and has been there ever since. Second oldest city in the country. I just thought that's interesting because, you know, you would think New England or, you know, somewhere on the East Coast, but no, right in the middle of the country.
Mainly watch this spot right here. You can see a shadow up here. Boom.
And no one's there.
And then you see this little orb right here.
And then you
watch. Babe.
I saw a little light flash. Yeah. Something.
No one's out back.
It just sits there too.
It does. It just sits right there.
And you can see the whole shadow, like a person.
That's nuts.
That's interesting. And if y'all know me, you know that orbs, generally speaking, I don't lend any kind of credibility to. I don't treat as evidence. It's usually dust or a bug or something like that. This one looks a little different, though. This one looks like it could be something to it. When you talk about orbs that are actually usable as evidence, this is more the type that would make sense. It has history all the way back to like year 0. Well, before that, we have many castles from all wars. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very interesting. I like European history a lot. I like Middle Eastern history too. I find it really interesting. Very, very old stuff. I spent a little time in Iraq, in the city of Kirkuk, back when I was in the military. And I did a lot of research on the city while I was there, and it was actually founded in 600 BC. So it's very, very old. And there were graves on the base where I was stationed, where I was deployed to, that were 2,000 to 2,400 years old. Still there, still intact. It's super, super cool. We're talking old history. Found it very interesting, for sure. And, to be fair, in the United States, we do have, obviously, history that goes back that far and further. It's just not really American history, America as a nation, obviously. We have, there's a very interesting site back in my home state, where I grew up, called Mesa Verde. And it's these cliff dwellings. I forget. They don't go back super, super far. But it's several hundred years old. And it's really cool. Under this big-ass cliff down in southwestern Colorado, you have these cliff dwellings. They were found, they were mostly buried when they were discovered in the early 1900s, like right around the turn of the century. And they obviously became an archaeological site, and they dug it all out. And it was like a whole city of cliff dwellings. And I forget the name of the people, the tribe that lived here. But look how cool that is, man. So cool. And it was just out of the limestone. They got in this cave that obviously just existed there, and they dug all this limestone and built all these structures. Let's see. When established as a national park in 1906 by Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see, starting 7,500 BC. Okay, so it's older than I thought it was. Blah, blah, blah. By 1000 BC, the basket maker culture emerged from the local archaic population, and by 750 AD, the ancestral Puebloans had developed. Okay, the Pueblo Indians. Yeah. That's right. Began construction of massive cliff dwellings, for which the park is best known. So 1285. So okay, not super, super old, but I mean 1285 is still pretty old. Followed by a period of social and environmental instability. Anyway, they left. No one really knows why for sure they left. They don't know if it was war or drought or what happened. But it's super, super cool. And they found so much cool stuff in there. Like this found there. A lot of stuff was really well preserved. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff, man. It's really cool. And you can go there. You can actually go inside a lot of these structures if you visit the site. From haunting to history. Yeah, we're kind of all over the place here. Sorry about that. But I just think it's so cool that... See, I would love to do a ghost hunt here. You never know what you'll find in a place that old and that remote. But when like they found it, it was a couple ranchers that owned the land that found it. They were down in this canyon looking for cattle, I think, that they were missing. And I think it was so covered in sand and dirt that they could just make out the very tops of these higher buildings. And they're like, what the hell is that? And they went over there and started looking around and realized, you know, they found something interesting, reported it, and, you know, someone that knew what they were doing come out and completely dug it up, and now it's pristine. It's really cool. Anyway, if you ever make it to America, it's a cool spot to visit. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Really went off the rails there.
I don't know how long it sits
Goes
there
away.
for. Or goes away.
So yeah,
comes back.
Not an orb guy, but that's
now watch,
a pretty
the
good
person's
one.
gonna disappear.
You know what? No, it's not. That is a freaking laser pointer. You can tell because it's shining on the ground. Then when it hits this rail, it gets big because, you know, the light's coming closer to you because it's hitting that rail. So it's going to appear a lot bigger.
I don't know how long it sits
Goes
there
away.
for.
Watch this.
Or goes away, comes back. Now watch, the person's gonna
See
disappear.
that? See how it went on that rail and then it gets really big? It's a laser pointer. This makes me think the entire thing is a hoax. Nah, you're good, Roy. You're good.
It's like they're just boom.
Boom, gone.
A strange shadow appears out of nowhere and an odd
So
source
this one,
of light.
I think, is complete BS. Easy to fake this. You know, you got a porch light, and you stand in front of it. You can cut that video and make it look like that. But the laser pointer thing, that is what makes me completely lose all faith in this video having any
Can
kind
be
of
seen
credibility.
floating in their backyard. Sabrina and Christopher say that they immediately went outside and checked their yard, but there was no one there. After posting the video to TikTok, there were some doubters that said it was probably just the shadow of a person standing there, maybe holding a flashlight. But the couple wasn't having it. They posted a follow-up video to actually attempt to debunk their own video using the methods suggested by viewers.
Sabrina's standing there.
I mean, that's not how shadows work. If you're standing there holding a flashlight out, you're not going to be casting a shadow of yourself because the light source is in front of you. It can't cast a shadow from in front of you.
Alright, walk outside real quick.
No, she has no shadow.
Shut the light off. And do it.
It's still not
Walk
that
over
difficult to fake. And the laser pointer really gives you away.
No
fella.
shadow. Look at that shit.
So did their CCTV camera capture something paranormal on camera? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax?
It's
You
a hoax.
decide.
It's not that elaborate.
TikTok user Gabrielle and her friend Ashley go on a road trip to explore an abandoned asylum, the Northern State Mental Hospital in Sedro-Woolley, Washington. The building opened in 1912 and was the forced home for many mentally ill patients until it shut its doors
That's always a
61
recipe
years
for good
later
things.
in 1973. Gabrielle and Ashley are exploring the property when something happens that absolutely shocks them both.
Ashley.
Fearing someone might be in danger.
So very, very, very interesting EVP here. Contextually, it makes sense. It sounds like something you would hear at an old mental asylum or at any mental asylum, which kind of lends me... Well, I shouldn't. That's poorly worded. Kind of makes me think that... this could be a residual haunting. We've talked briefly about them in the past. Hold on, my dogs are about to freak out because the UPS guy just got here. 1 second, I'm going to go to the BRB screen because he's delivering a large package. So I'll be right back in a minute. Okay, all right. Super sorry about that. We're back, though. I decided to go ahead and de-beer while I was up. And good news, our floodwaters have pretty much gone down, so we might just make it through this. See, when those people are alive, there could be... Yes. But anyway, as I was saying, this makes me think of a residual haunting, which we've talked a little bit about in the past. And basically, a residual haunting is the opposite of an intelligent haunting, meaning that a residual haunting has no ability to interact with you. It has no intelligence. It's basically just replaying an action that happened in the past. There's theories about it. The one that I think makes the most sense is that, especially in America, a lot of things are built on large deposits of limestone bedrock. And we do know that limestone actually can hold a lot of energy, heat energy, and things like that. So the theory is that if it can hold energy, it can probably hold the energy somewhat like a tape recorder or something. So, something that has happened in the past, the limestone can actually, the energy coming out of it can actually cause this to replay over and over and over again. You can't interact with it. Like I said, it's not intelligent. And, if this theory holds true, there could be residual hauntings where you see people that are actually still alive, which is kind of weird. But really, if this is the case, there's really nothing paranormal about it. It's just limestone expelling energy in the form of an action that has happened in the past. Not paranormal, like I said, but still just as interesting. And this could be what we're seeing here. Welcome back, Roy. I was just explaining residual hauntings.
Ranger Gabrielle says she immediately called 911 after hearing this bizarre screaming. But after posting her video to TikTok, one viewer reached out to Gabrielle to calm her down. The viewer explained that there is actually another mental facility nearby that is still open to this day. And maybe that was the source of the bizarre screams they heard. When looking at a map, there is indeed a psychiatric treatment center in the area. However, it's not as close as you might think, judging from the volume of those screams.
Yeah, it did sound pretty close.
Ashley!
From where
now someone could have escaped from that facility, worked their way closer this way, and was screaming, which would be a good reason to call 911, which she did.
Gabrielle and Ashley were standing, it's actually about half a mile to the new treatment center. And in between that space, there are several groups of trees, a patch of woods, a flowing creek, and also several blocks of commercial buildings. So the question is, could one disturbed woman's voice travel that far?
And in the right conditions, possibly a half mile isn't that long. The conditions are just right, wind direction, and even like your atmospheric pressure and things like that. I think absolutely it could, but that did sound pretty close. It's a possibility. It could be from a lady from there that actually escaped and worked her way down that way, or possibly they could be hearing it all the way from down there. Or third possibility is that it's a residual type haunting. I propose a third option. What if energy visibly leaked over from somewhere else, be that a spirit realm or another dimension? So we got multi-dimension theory, very viable theory, as viable as any other, I suppose. That would put it in a position where it can both be intelligent and also unaware of us. Okay, great topic. So this is kind of like, we go back again to that movie, The Others. It was kind of the same thing. There was a spirit realm, a different reality, different universe, whatever you want to call it, parallel to our own. And sometimes things can cross over. It's a pretty common theory. If that is the case, you would get if you get some of that spillover, then you would be able to to hear something like this or see something, and they might not be able to see you or may not notice you, but it's just someone going about their business in another reality, which is a very interesting idea to me. And if you actually really dive deep into the parallel universe theory and the multiverse theory, things like that, it oddly makes a lot of sense. So you could be absolutely right. It's as strong a theory as any other. So we've actually proposed 4 theories on what this could be now. Creepy even when they are active and have people in. They are. There's actually, what was that? There's a documentary back in the 70s that Geraldo Rivera did. I forget what it was called, but it just really exposed the atrocity that was mental asylums, at least at the time. And I know they've gotten a lot better since then, but I don't think they're still not that great. They're not pleasant places. So there's actually a lot this results in a lot of negative energy, obviously, which in theory, again, everything theoretical in this field, could lead to a lot of energy as far as haunting goes, negative energy. So you get these like kind of evil hauntings, possibly. It's pretty interesting stuff. So I think we picked this one apart pretty well.
Obstacles and still.
When I was young, a few friends of mine and I experienced a large number of shadow-like figures in the yard at night. They seemed to be completely oblivious to us. Also of note, they seemed to obey an x-axis of gravity, but not parallel to the ground we had. Really? So by x-axis, I assume you mean what we would call a horizontal plane of gravity, right? Like the ground, basically. Because I'm trying to remember, X is horizontal, Y is vertical, I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, that's interesting. That lends itself to the multiverse, parallel universe theory. Also, possibly to the residual haunting theory, but it wouldn't make sense if their plane of gravity would be different from ours. If it was residual, you'd think it'd be the same. That would make more sense. Yeah, the ground, but if it were tilted compared to ours, yeah, that's odd. That's very strange. Yeah, I think so too, Rora. We got that's actually a new theory. Like, This is what I was hoping for with the channel, actually. People would come in with these theories. I'm aware of the theory, but it's not something that occurred to me in this particular situation. But it's a good catch. It's a really solid idea.
Still be heard that clearly half a mile away. Did Gabrielle simply hear the screams of a disturbed patient? Or could it be something else? Let me know what you think. Now, this next video was reposted on a random TikTok account that just didn't give any credit to the original video poster. I've looked for hours, but I wasn't able to find the original source. However, the video is very creepy, so I think it deserves a spot in the top 5. In the video, recorded by a security camera, you see a little girl sitting in her bed, seeming a bit distressed. What happens next is...
You know, I can't get it out of my head now. I was just thinking about the multiverse theory, which actually has a lot of scientific credence. A lot of physicists actually believe in the multiverse theory. Excuse me. Now, whether they spill over into each other occasionally, that's a different story. May or may not be. But a lot of the theory is that you have an infinite number of universes, infinite number of planes of reality that are physically identical, but there's going to be subtle changes. Like, you know, in a multiverse, I might have someone exactly like me that lives in the same place, but leads a completely different life, you know. So actually, I guess it would make sense they wouldn't live in the same, or they could live in the same place. I don't know. If we go ahead and just assume it was an alternate reality of some sort, there's no rule to state it has to be in line with ours. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's no rules at all, really, in this game. If their Earth was skewed compared to ours on a slightly different orbit, you're right. That actually makes a lot of sense. You got orbital tilt or whatever it would be with a planet, you know. Even if it's in a different time plane, you know, the tilt is different. The orbital tilt, rotational tilt, I guess, of the planet changes. That could actually make a lot of sense, too. It's like a whole universe or multiple universes, possibly, of different theories, different ideas we could go with here. Either way, it's interesting to think of it were possible for them to see us as well. With that tilt, we would have them invisible because we were underground. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that wouldn't have even been possible for them to see you at that point. Very strange. It's a very strange story. I like that.
It's truly bizarre.
Kid stuff, Roy, your favorite. Oh, wow. This is a little poltergeisty.
Hey, come here. It's okay, baby.
Damn. Dad's like, let's bail. I've had many, many paranormal experiences growing up, some of which were like very traumatic and suppressed. That's interesting. Did you live in a place that was particularly, I guess what you would traditionally think is prone to paranormal activity, as far as, you know, the whole burial ground thing and all that other, as we said before, little cliche stuff. But, you know, was it something like that? It's quite scary for me. Yeah, if it doesn't make any sense. This is crazy, though. Dad sees this on the camera, comes and gets his baby. Good for you.
Hey, come here. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Try to talk. Come around.
That's wild. So this reaction from the dad.
The girl is obviously scared as you see her looking at something in her bedroom. A chair then suddenly begins to rock back and forth on its own. Luckily, the child's father sees the activity and rushes in to rescue his terrified daughter. Now, obviously, I have no idea what happens next. So if you happen to know the original source for this video, please let me know down in the comments.
That's crazy. Good dad, though. I like that. This day, every couple months, I have night terrors to the point of verbal screaming. There's never abuse. So there's no real reason my brain should be doing that. Unless that was a way of expressing trauma is suppressed. You know, that could be their, the whole suppressed trauma thing is really pretty fascinating in itself. Because, yeah, people will, their brains will trick people into thinking things that happen never even happen. It's the human psyche is absolutely fascinating. And there's just so many mysteries that we don't even know anything about. I have vague memories of being locked in my room despite my door not even having a latch to close. Really? Very interesting. Let's legit get up from my bed. Pillow is a weapon.
Dead
Solid
end.
plan.
Fans of popular YouTube ghost hunter Franco TV
I
have
love Franco.
requested many
We've seen a lot of
times that he
Franco.
make a return visit to investigate
He's
the
one of my
Weeping
favorites.
Angels Cemetery in Florida. It's no surprise that this particular graveyard is so popular amongst Franco TV viewers. He's been there many times and caught some
Is this the one where he
extremely
saw the
scary
weird old
paranormal
lady?
activity. One of the most memorable of these encounters was the sighting of an old lady just roaming the graveyard.
Yeah. And I think we came to the conclusion, I think Franco might have too, that it was just some weird old lady that was obviously suffering from dementia or something along those lines. Not paranormal, but still creepy. She just wanders around the dark in the cemetery at night.
Do you
Yes,
need help?
her. At least that's, I think that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Just some weird old lady.
Not doing that.
Now, Frank has never claimed that this person was a ghost or anything supernatural. But many of his viewers seem convinced that the odd visitor was in fact some sort of paranormal.
I really truly think that this is unfortunately an old lady with Alzheimer's or something. And she wanders off into the cemetery at night. I don't so much care for paranormal media, obviously not TV since it is entertainment value to life. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Not YouTube either. Much more interesting to hear just normal people talking about their own experience. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah, Aurora, I think this one was actually creepier than a lot of the ghost videos.
Apparition. This time, Franco
A little
TV
too
is back
real,
again
you
to
know?
explore the ominous, empty Weeping Angels Cemetery late at night. First, he makes his way to the same area where he originally spotted the elderly woman. Things immediately start to get very strange.
I got some
Very unfortunate
stuff
reality.
on the
That's
floor
the
here.
paranormal YouTubers. Well, in 1-2 categories, either they're there for the show and don't really care to talk to people, or they do have a genuine interest but have no earthly idea how to run a stream. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I'm more in the second category. I don't know what I'm doing. But I have a genuine interest. However, I think I differ from a lot of the paranormal channels and stuff on YouTube in that I go in really trying to explain or find out what's actually happening. More of a debunking type approach, a skeptical approach. You know, I wouldn't, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I wouldn't really call myself a skeptic. I'm somewhere in between a skeptic and a believer. But I think most of what we see can be explained away pretty easily, and we do a lot of that. But there are a few that we really have trouble explaining what's going on. I find this interesting as I look at this, however. This is where that old lady was sitting, right? Is this her motherfucking shoes? Excuse my language, but is that her shoes? Why would her shoes be here still?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's creepy. That thing just started moving.
That
And
in
there's
itself
wind.
isn't that
I wish I
weird.
had a flag to show you.
Oh, well, it's saying there's no wind. See, that is shoes. I knew that was her shoes. How weird is that, guys? And somewhere in the middle of that, I have definitive paranormal experience I believe to be unexplainable for the most part, but I have no valid evidence. Yeah, see, we're exactly the same. Well, maybe not exactly. I have seen things that are pretty convincing, but I have no definitive evidence to say yes, ghosts exist. But at the same time, there's nothing definitive saying no, they don't. So we're just along for the ride to see where the evidence takes us.
Wind. Look at the leaves.
Did he bring those shoes? He's not acknowledging the shoes.
Hold on. Let me make sure I get this on. Damn it. There we go. Yeah, I'm not touching that. I don't know what that's about.
Frank finds an abandoned pair of leopard-patterned slippers at the exact same spot where they...
Yes! That's creepy. I don't care what you say. That's pretty creepy right there.
Elderly woman had been seated in the previous video.
That's like
Even creepier, a plastic pot suddenly begins to move on its own. Frank points out that there's no wind or draft that could have made the pot move. And of course, the occurrence is especially bizarre considering the location.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But Franco TV
it's almost like the matrixing thing I talk about. We try to make things make sense in our head that we don't understand, so we assign things we know to them. And really for people, a lot of the unknown is, oh, that goes in ghost category or paranormal category. And that's actually one of my big drives for this channel, is to start plucking things out of that category and saying, this is why this makes sense. That's what this is. This is what that is. Debunking things. Not everything needs to go in a paranormal category, because most things, I believe, are not paranormal.
Continues on and takes a turn down a small hidden dirt road behind the cemetery. This is when things take a terrifying turn.
I just got movement. Here.
Good topics, by the way. Tavia? Is it Tavia? Tavia? Ouch. I don't know how you say it.
I literally have bugs eating me alive right now.
So we got a heat signature.
What the hell is that?
Thermal imaging signature. Now, in my regular job, we use thermal imaging cameras all the time. And in my experience, they're pretty reliable. You don't get a lot of false heat signatures on them. Even at long distances like this is, they actually work really, really well. Especially the newer ones. So, like if it was IR in like your traditional night vision sense, you could probably chalk this up to, some kind of video defect. I'm not saying that's absolutely not what this is, but in my experience, firsthand experience with thermal imaging cameras, they don't really do that. It's definitely the shape of a person.
I actually have somebody there.
Oh, he thinks there's actually someone there, which there really could be. A lot of people would consider sleep paralysis to be paranormal. That's true. Despite having solid scientific explanation for it. Or where do we draw the line between paranormal versus alien technology and UFOs? That's another interesting topic. But you're right about sleep paralysis. We know it exists scientifically, but yeah, like I said, a lot of people still put a paranormal twist on it, or say some people like to consider it to be triggered by paranormal activity. Probably not. The alien UFOs thing, I'd like to actually do a whole stream or a whole YouTube video if I can figure out how to edit videos on that subject. I don't dive a whole lot into UFO stuff, because I do consider it somewhat in the paranormal category, but I think I'll tell you this much. I absolutely believe there is alien life, I guess, intelligent life in the universe. The universe is so vast. Like, I don't think the human mind can even actually fully understand the size of the universe. So it'd be really weird if we were the only intelligent beings. That, I think that would be more strange, really, than there actually being stuff out there. Now, whether or not they've come and visited us, I don't know. There is evidence to suggest they have. There's pretty strong evidence to suggest Area 51 is actually harboring alien technology, reverse engineering things. Because about during the Cold War, the timelines really line up to when all the Area 51, the Roswell stuff all happened. And when this technology started coming out, that was really new at the time. Your stealth technology, even jet propulsion came a long way at the time. Nuclear powered ships and things like that, they came along at that time. It makes a lot of sense that we're actually using some reverse engineered alien technology. I've had 3 solid UFO experiences, very low number to my paranormal experience as a whole, but something. Yeah, that's interesting too. I've had one experience I would consider a UFO experience, and I didn't see anything. It was more I heard something. It was I was probably 12 or 13 years old, and I was over at my friend's house, and we lived kind of out in the middle of nowhere in Colorado anyway. So we were down. We had built this little shack down on this property, probably 200 yards from their house. We had built this thing all up, 12, 13 years old, and we were really proud of it. And this particular night, we were going to sleep there for the first time. So we were super excited. We were getting everything ready, everything together, snacks and sleeping bags, all that stuff. Well, I was down there at this little shack we had built, and my friend was up at the house getting something. And I was standing just outside the door, and I'm looking down. We were right against the fence line. I'm looking down at the fence line, and his cat, I remember his cat, her name was Snickers. I think it was a her. She was down there by the fence. She was just hanging out with me, and I was talking to her, and I didn't have any shoes on. I was just right on the little kind of a stoop in front of the door, and I was talking to her, trying to pet her and everything, and then all of a sudden, overhead, I hear this sound. It sounded like zoo, 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 zoo.
This is the place where the dead.
Tavia, whatever it was. Thank you so much for following. But I hear this sound. Zoo, 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 zoo. Just like that. Like it came in, got close, and then, went by me. And it sounded really, really close. Like something spinning. Not like a helicopter. It didn't sound anything like a helicopter. But it kind of freaked me out. I'm looking up, and I don't see anything. No lights or anything like that. I look back down. The cat's gone. So I was like, shit. So I just took off running back to the house. No shoes or anything like that. Took off running back to the house. Practically jumped through the barbed wire fence that was between us and the house. Ran in there, told them all about it. They didn't believe me, obviously. But it scared the hell out of me. And most interesting about the entire encounter is that cat, Snickers, never seen again. They never saw that cat again. Tavia. Okay, Tavia. Well, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, that's my UFO experience. It's really the only one. I've seen weird lights and stuff, but I usually chalk it up to like satellites or airplanes or something. It's gotta be such a petrifying experience to witness something, and it was most likely vastly more powerful. Yeah, that is for sure. Like, what if they decided to take you? There's nothing you could do about it. Absolutely powerless.
Crap.
So we got Franco running. He thinks that was a real person right there, which it could have been, because you definitely got a thermal signature from him. I hate the recording of a screen. Like using a camera to record the screen of a camera.
What the hell? Hello? What? I legitimately just had somebody. Or like a dark shadow.
Frank says he hears movement coming
shadow
from somewhere down the
probably
creepy
wouldn't
path.
show up on there.
When he points his thermal imaging camera towards the sound, he sees a dark figure standing in the middle of the road. A figure that doesn't seem to emanate any body heat on the thermal image. Even creepier, the figure seems to be getting close.
That's true. I don't know. A lot of it depends on lack of willpower is one of the primal fears of such human brain. I guess that's a legitimate fear. See, for creepy things like this, I'm the sort of person who would rather just leave it alone and not know about it. Yeah, the ostrich effect. Yeah, tank stuff. So it depends. I don't know what he's got. It actually, yeah, it looks like he's white hot right now. Because I was wondering, it depends the time of night if the trees are putting off heat or if they're looking like they're cold. If it's early in the evening, they might. If it was hot during the day, they might still be holding heat in. But the fact that it's 44 degrees probably wasn't hot during the day. So yeah, they're showing cold. He's white hot, black cold. So yeah, you're right. This isn't an actual heat signature. This is a cold signature, which is even more interesting, really. I was in my apartment. Strange stuff does happen. Is this somewhere? Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. Rather not know for sure. So that's an interesting take. I'm actually on the fence on that. I'm not sure because we've found stuff in our house recently. Here, I'll show Tavia, right? Yeah, Tavia. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. You weren't here earlier. So we caught this video on our back porch on our security camera recently, and it's never happened before, and it's never happened since. So it's pretty interesting, given what I know about the area. This is about 2 in the afternoon. So relative to the camera, the sun is at about 12 o'clock, but really high in the sky. There's another door just like this one, kind of under the camera and to the right. But if it opens, you can see it on the camera. Plus, you can hear it in the audio. I've had getting hit with a rubber ball. Own a rubber ball, although I firmly felt it hit my head. Heard it bounce and roll to the ground. That is interesting. That's pretty good. Pretty creepy thing. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play it. You're kind of looking in this area right here. See that? Looks like a shadow of a person. So it's also worth noting you don't see anything in the reflection of the doors here. The screen doors don't open. The sun's in the wrong place where if someone was walking by on this side, that it would cast a shadow. My first thought was you can see the wind start blowing and the screens move. My first thought was that the screens are casting some kind of shadow, but you can see them continue to move as the shadow, for lack of a better term, walks up and leaves the frame. The screen, what it's doing, doesn't change. Very odd. Also, this is a fenced-in backyard, 6-foot privacy fence, vinyl fence. And there are other security cameras on the property that didn't catch anyone getting in the backyard. At the time, it wasn't impossible to get in the backyard without being seen, but it would have been very difficult. You would have had known where the cameras are. There's a lot more cameras now, so now it's impossible, but the other cameras didn't pick anything up. You really saw the camera. It was like, oh snap, I'm on camera. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Because looks like kind of walking toward the door, and then it's like, oh, I'm out. It's wild. And another thing on this video that we haven't really talked about much is at the very end, you see the shadow look like kind of pops back into the corner a little bit right at the very end. So my thought, there is a door there and it opens inward, but like I said, you would see it in the camera and you would hear it. But it looks like the shadow is walking out the door and then backs up a little to open it, you know, how one does, and then goes out. But again, you would see the door, you would hear it open, if that's what happened. So I don't know. I can't explain it. I do not know what happened. You know, cameras in my house, feel free to pop by. Yeah, we got plenty. Lots of cameras. Alright, let's finish up this video. We've been kind of dragging on it.
Closer and closer. But when Frank turns on his flashlight, there's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes back to his thermal camera, the figure has now disappeared. He calls
It's
out to it
interesting
into
that it
the
was a
distance,
cold signature.
but no one answers. No longer feeling safe walking along the spooky dirt road, Franco TV decides to get into his car and instead drives down the creepy pathway from the safety of his vehicle. It did not go well.
Can't financially afford to abandon it. Yeah, we can't financially afford to leave our house either. But my wife and I both talked about it, and we wouldn't leave. I forgot to maximize this. Sorry, guys. We wouldn't leave for that. He doesn't, the ghost, if there is one, doesn't seem to harm anything. Doesn't hurt anybody, break anything, so it's whatever. If we can coexist, that's fine. Anyway, this is visual. Yeah. And I think most people are like that. You believe your eyes more than anything else.
Wait. I'm hearing noises. Oh, no. I'm hearing stuff.
Yeah,
No,
it did sound
screw
like
that.
someone was walking towards him.
Holy there's somebody in there. That's not even that's not a ghost. There was somebody legit inside the graveyard. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not claiming anything. All I'm saying is that somebody's there. And that scared
It shouldn't have been a cold signature.
Franco hears a sudden loud rustling coming towards him from the dark woods. He hits the gas and just gets out of there. Now, Franco is undecided on whether he experienced something paranormal or just happened to capture someone wandering outside the cemetery late at night for some reason. But what makes this footage even more chilling is that back in 2019, on this very same dirt
but it was
road,
still a cold signature.
Police found a body. Someone who had lost their life in a violent altercation. So could this mysterious dark figure be their restless spirit? Or just what or who could this unexplained figure be?
Frank's hit the big
As
time, by the
always,
way, if he's got a thermal
I leave it
imager.
up to you
Good
to
for
decide.
him.
You can watch this full video and
Hey, you want
many
something
more
recently?
creepy investigations over on
It's
the
44
YouTube channel
degrees out
Franco
there,
TV. Thanks so much for watching.
So I doubt that's the case. But alright, let's see. We've been at it for almost 3.5 hours. So we are going to end the stream today right here where we are. Let's see if there's anyone on that would make sense to raid. Yes, there is. Sergeant Rusty. We're going to raid Sergeant Rusty. Looks like he's playing SnowRunner. Cool guy. Fun guy. So we're going to jump in there after I go to my ending screen. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming by. I really appreciate it. Please stick around, show some love to Sergeant Rusty, and we will see y'all hopefully tomorrow, but I don't know. I kind of got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow, so we'll see. But thanks again, and y'all take it easy.